Hello, everyone. Sorry about the delay. I've had an absolute nightmare. I got stuck in deepest, darkest Kent, and the motorway was closed. So we went the opposite direction to get on at the next junction, and that was closed as well. So we've been all around the houses. So a bit late getting started. Who's here? Who's here? Hi, Duncan. Nick. Hi, Nick. You're right. Dino's here. Armin's here from Munich. Kier's here. And Steve is here. How are you doing? Can everyone hear me all right and see me all right and all that sort of stuff? Because we're live. We're live. Hi, Ted. Hi, Ted. I don't know if your name is Ted London or you're Ted from London. Oh, Jimmy Nicol likes the pickles here. MBT's here. Thank you, Armin, for confirming. Hi, Charles. Hi, Charles. Good to see you. Max here. From Blister in Vegas. How hot is it there? Daniel's here from Cornwall. Hi, Drag Gurus. Ted's from New Jersey. Tony's here. Tony from Essex. Is that me? No, it's you. That's you. Terry Mann's here from Derby. Good to see you. Good to see you. Okay, so there's loads to talk. There's Mrs. Beatley Tone here. Just wait. I'll see you later. Hi, Morris. Hi, Morris. Hi, Morris. 97 in New Jersey. Wow. That's hot. Okay. Hi, Joseph. Joseph's here from Philadelphia. We've got Sol Lopez here from Tampa, in Florida. Andy's here. From New Jersey, from Two Legs. 100 in New Jersey. Wow. Armin says, have you already listened to the Mind Games box? Hope you enjoyed it. Congratulations once again. Thank you, Armin. No, I haven't listened to it all, but I have listened to the remix a couple of times, actually. And I have to tell you, it is stunning. Really fantastic. Everyone is going to love it. Everyone's going to be happy with it. I can promise you that. What does Robert say? Greetings, Robert, in Norway. Charlie's here from Jacksonville, Florida. So we've got a couple of people from Florida. Okay. W here from Alabama. Boyan's here. Boyan Archer from Australia. Hi, Boyan. He says, hi, Tone. Not sure if you had a chance to check your emails recently, but I strongly suggest you might want to have a look really quickly before the end of the night. Okay. Okay, will do. That presumably that's something to do with Macca tickets. So Boyan has been helping me. It's been helping me try and get tickets, some decent tickets. Boyan is saying, yeah, give me your phone. Oh, my phone. Okay. I'm putting Mrs. Beatley Tone in charge. So she's looking at the email now, Boyan. Boyan's been helping me try and get better tickets than I've got. So I have got tickets for one of the nights at the O2, but they're not great. They're not great. They're quite near the back. But it's at least we've got tickets because so many people have been disappointed, and I've this show will be my 23rd Macca gig, so it's not like I haven't seen him before. But if there's a decent VIP package going, I'd be interested in it, or just trying to get a better ticket than we've got. Really. Hi, Kit. Nice to see. It's sweltering hot in Chicago. Lee's here. Hi, Lee. Yeah. So what's Nick saying? Call 90 in Kansas City. Beetle Boy, hi. Yeah, so who is there anyone here from the UK or from Spain or from France that has got tickets for the European leg of the Got Back tour? I know Andy from Two Legs is coming over to the UK, and he's going to, I think he's going 2 nights in Manchester. Is that right? I think the 2 nights in Manchester. Anyone else managed to get tickets or tried to get tickets, didn't get the tickets?
I think he's got you tickets. I think he sorted you out 3 tickets.
Is what?
I think he sorted you out 3 tickets. We've just got to confirm.
Oh, right. Mrs. Beatley Tone has just said that what sort of tickets?
He says, I've managed to get you 3 tickets. I don't know what sort, but it's the event thing, so maybe he can tell you.
All right, you better tell.
There might be another email further down.
Yeah, you better tell me, Boyan, what you've got, because we're not sure, but it looks like Boyan has got me tickets. So, Beetle Boy, you got tickets? Dino's going to the UK and Paris. So are you going all the nights, Dino? Morris didn't get anywhere with tickets. This is what I'm saying. Loads of people had problems. It was an absolute fiasco here because we were logged on various devices, and obviously from the same IP address, and it kept thinking that we were bots and chucking us out, and we had to start again, and it was just a nightmare. But we did get tickets in the end. But I was seeing on Twitter and on Facebook that loads of people had tried and couldn't get tickets. Beetle Boy didn't get tickets. The Drag Guru, I managed to get tickets for the. Where is it? I've lost the post. Oh, there it is. I managed to get tickets for the second O2 night. That's the same night I'm going, or I've got tickets for that night anyway. So maybe we'll have a Beatley Tones Beatles channel meet up with people that are going to the O2 on the 19th of December. Tony says, I got for Thursday at the O2, but they're up in the gods. Are we on Thursday? We are, aren't we? It's Thursday the 19th. That's the same night. Yeah. You're up in the gods. Yeah, I've sat up in that top tier at the O2, and it's really scary because it's just so steep and it's so high up. I saw Paul Simon and Sting together at the O2 when we were right up at the top. And Paul Simon, he's only a little bloke anyway. He's only a little bloke. He was about that big from where we were sitting. It was ridiculous. Who else got tickets? Ashfelt World says, I'm not sure I want to see McCartney live these days. His voice isn't really what it used to be. No, it's not. It's not. But it's still a fantastic show. And it's still great to be in the same room, breathing the same air as Paul McCartney. And the gigs are always good fun. Steve says, Manchester on the 15th, very stressful for daughter. Finally, you told me that she tried and failed, and now she's got them. That's brilliant news. Paul says he got tickets for the 19th. That's the O2, and that's brilliant. So that's the same night that we are there. So the tickets that I got were quite a reasonable 125 quid, which for a gig of this sort of magnitude, that is not a bad price. But we've seen Ticketmaster selling the tickets in the same block for about, was it 450 quid or something? 450 quid today.
Through Ticketmaster, not
not through a tout site, but Ticketmaster doing that. And when I went in there today to try and get tickets, and just being in the queue, I got in a queue, and it kind of booted me out and said, go start again. And when I was in the original queue, it said Ticketmaster are charging £2.50 per ticket admin fee. And then when I went back into it, it said Ticketmaster are charging £3.50 per ticket as an admin fee. So they put it up £1, like, straight away. Boyan says, let's.
He's sent loads. He's really been working for you here, Tony. He's done loads of emails on your behalf, and it looks like he's got us the hot sound package on the floor, rows 4 to 8, with the sound check.
Oh, fantastic. That is fantastic. So you have about 20 emails from me. Mrs. Beatley Tone has just confirmed that. Should be 3 hot sound between rows 4 and 8. They've accidentally placed my tickets on your account, so please don't nick them before they move them back. That is fantastic, boy, and thank you so much. Thank you. Really appreciate that. That is absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. And how hot is it in Oz now? As everyone else is saying, that I am so happy about that. That is absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much. Really, really appreciate that. Hi, Martin. Asphalt World says, I always found Mind Games a bit lifeless sounding record. Does the new version inject some excitement? Yes, it does. It does. And I think pretty much everyone would agree with you that the production on Mind Games, the original version, was, left a lot to be desired. It was the first album that John produced himself, and sound-wise, it's not great. The 2002 remix that came out as a CD reissue was an improvement. And but this, I'm not being funny. When you hear this, it will blow your mind. It will blow your mind. It is utterly fantastic. I mean, obviously, it depends on what you listen to it on, but it just sounds incredible. I was hearing things that I'd never heard before, and there's things that have particularly been brought up in the mix, so you are hearing them because you never heard them before. But it is just stunning. I can't wait for everyone to hear it because you're just going to love it. It's definitely given me a new appreciation of that album, and there's a lot of good stuff on it. Terry says, I didn't go for tickets. I've seen Macca quite a few times, but all that have got tickets, you guys have a great time rocking out with Macca. We will, Terry. Thank you. 125 to see Paul is great. Jesus, come on. Yeah, it is. I thought that was a decent price, because I don't think that artists of his kind of level, like the Stones, U2, big bands, they charge. I don't think you get tickets for under 200 quid, can you? I don't know. A friend of mine went to see Taylor Swift the other night at Anfield and in Liverpool, and I don't know how much they paid for tickets, but I expect they were quite expensive. Kit says that's not a bad price at all, actually. I thought it was all right. I mean, those tickets are not great. They're quite near the back. They're not right at the back, so they're not like opposite the stage, but they're sort of one of the I think they're the one of the back blocks along the side, so it's not right at the back, but it's a little bit in front of that, but not much in front of that. So they're not great tickets, but 125 quid to be in the same room and hear him play the songs is great. Lee says, Tone, after all the McCartney archives are finished, do you think Paul would ever sell his whole song catalogue like a lot of older icons are doing? I have no idea. I don't think so, because I'm not sure who we're talking about, but let's be honest, he don't need the money, so he's got no reason really to sell them, has he? Nick says, "Sell me your tickets and I will come over if you get the others." Okay, Nick, no problem, no problem. Oh, the only thing is, I've got 3. I've got see that was one of my problems why I couldn't get really good tickets, because when you try and buy tickets in odd numbers, it limits you. It limits your options. If there's 2 of you, or there's 4 of you, or there's 6 of you, or whatever, it's not so bad. But 3, it was hard to get 3 together, and that was the best we could get with 3 together. Nick says, seeing Paul in Manchester, my hometown, only my 3rd time in seeing him. That's great, Nick. I hope you have a fantastic time. Andy said, the pound ain't sinking over there in the UK, that's for sure. The ruble's rising, though. Right, okay. Charlie says, saw him in Orlando, Florida 2 years back, cost me $150 for the nosebleed. Well, that's not a bad price either. That's probably roughly what I'm paying, but I've probably got slightly better seats, better seats than the nosebleeds, but you know what I mean. So my tickets are on the sort of the lower tier.
You can tell, boy, and I've confirmed them.
Do you think Ringo will make an appearance at a UK show? I don't know. Probably not, because he doesn't live here. So unless he comes specifically for that purpose, I wouldn't have thought so. Boyan, we have confirmed those tickets. Thank you so much. Really, really appreciate it. That is absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much indeed. I won't nick your ticket. We'll talk on email and sort out what's happened with your tickets in the same bundle or whatever.
Well, I haven't touched them, so they should be fine.
All right. Okay. Right. Okay. Okay. So the first time that I saw him was 1979. I would have loved to have been on the the 75, 76 tour, but I was just too young. I was just too young back then. So the first time I saw him was on the UK tour, 1979. I saw him at four gigs on that tour: 3 at Wembley Arena and 1 at Hammersmith Odeon, which was the concert for Kampuchea. I was there for that, so I saw him 4 times. So I kind of got off to a good start. Boyan says 7 degrees at the moment under the electric blanket. It's cold, but much happier to be cold and need to warm up rather than be hot and need to cool down. Fair enough. Martin says, "We All Stand Together" is a brilliant song for what it is, as is Yellow Submarine for cartoons genius. Okay, fair enough. Boom, 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 boom. Craig says, "Great channel, keep it up." Thank you so much, Craig. Really appreciate that comment. Mike says, "Yes, I saw this. Uncut Magazine this month has got. I think it has got a Mind Games CD with it, or I don't know what it is exactly. Normally, when they give away CDs, it's normally like other artists doing the songs from an album. So it might be that, but I do know that Uncut are also John Lennon is the cover cover story, and I think they're doing a full article about him. I think they're reviewing all his albums and whatever. Martin says, loving the song Soily at the minute. Me too, especially on One Hand Clapping. It's fantastic. I just love Soily. I don't understand why it was never put on an album. It makes any album better for me. It makes any album, including Band on the Run. But your excitement is what tipped me over the line to buy the 2 vinyl set of Mind Games. Oh, is that right, Chuck? Well, that's great. That's great. Yeah, I'm getting that as well. And you know, all importantly, the two vinyl set includes the new remixed album. So you know, that will sound fantastic on vinyl. I'm sure. Mike has paid 600 for times 2 for you, 1,200 quid. Where are you sitting? Where are you sitting? Nick says he'll take all 3. We'll talk on WhatsApp or whatever, and no problem. Trevor says Uncut. Yeah, Uncut magazine. I think it's a UK magazine, but you know, if you want to get it, and you know, you can't, if you're not in the UK and you can't get it, you know, on your local newsstand or newsagent or whatever, they've got a website. I think you can probably order it. It probably won't cost that much for postage. It's just a magazine. Tony, are the hidden tracks on the Mind Games box set only on the Blu-ray? No, they're not. But some of them are. But not many of them. I don't know if you saw my unboxing video that I put out yesterday. But on that, I kind of tell you all the hidden tracks that I've uncovered, where you find them on the. Some are on CD only, some of them are on Blu-ray only, and some of them are on CD and Blu-ray. But what I have subsequently found out is that that I think, and I haven't tried this yet, so don't quote me on it, but what I think happens is that you have to play the CD in a Blu-ray player to be able to discover them, because I think what you do is you go into the CD, and the first track on every CD is the track Mind Games. So you go on to Mind Games and you start playing it, and then you do the back button twice. So in other words, you're going to track -1, and then it should play the track. But I've been told that you have to play the CDs on a Blu-ray player. You know, Blu-ray players play Blu-rays and they play CDs as well. Because when I tried it on my CD player, I couldn't find it when I played that first disc. And that's something else that's a bit weird. You know, there's all these games, and this could be just a pointless mind games. But when you put the Mind Games CD, that's the remix, a CD1. When you put that in your CD player, and you know when you put it in, it settles down, and then it gives you a time. It gives you a time of the CD. Well, the time that comes up when it does that is 78 minutes and 30 something seconds, which is obviously much longer than the actual album. I don't know how long the album is, but I think it's probably about 35 minutes or something. So I knew there was going to be something a little bit odd about that. So, and I say I couldn't find the hidden track at the beginning of the CD. So when it's the end of Meat City on the album, it then starts a new track. It starts track whatever it is, 13, I think it is. I think there's 12 tracks on the album, so it goes to track 13, and then it plays 25 seconds of silence, and then it goes to track 14 and plays 25 seconds of silence, and this goes up to track 100. So I couldn't find anything on it at all. But so it might just be, you know, a wind up from Sean, I don't know, or I might be doing something wrong, and there's like, you know, 50 odd songs or something in there, or there's a few songs in there. We will discover you know, all these games, you know, as we go along, and you know, we'll all share things that we found. You know, I've just found this, or I've just found that. We'll all share it, and hopefully we'll be able to work it all out. But it could be some time before we find out. Marcus says, "I'm so excited to hear Mind Games box after after the ringing endorsement you and Joe have given. I know many people who cite it as their favourite album already, so hopefully more reappraisal. And I think reappraisal is a brilliant word actually for this. I think that this will give people a different opinion of Mind Games than they had before. I think before, for most people it probably sort of sat somewhere in the middle of John's album ranking or whatever. That probably hasn't changed. It's still not a better album than Imagine or Plastic Ono Band, but or Walls and Bridges. But it just sounds fabulous. It does sound fabulous. So everyone should be looking forward to that. Dino says, in 1986, I paid 150 for the Royal Variety Show. I remember that, where he did Only Love Remains, right? And Paul's saying, what, only one song? Should I stop? Yeah, you should. He played Only Love Remains, if I remember rightly. Ted says, how was the 79 tour concert? Well, for me, it was fantastic because it was the very first time that I'd seen him live. But when I look back on it now and look at what the set list was for that, it was probably the weakest set list, of any tour that I've been on. But from the point of view of actually seeing him for the first time, because back then there's no internet, there's no internet, and normally how we got tickets for gigs usually was you either went and queued up at the venue when they went on sale, or you sent in a letter with a self-addressed envelope and a check inside it for the amount of however many tickets you were after, the price of how many ever tickets, and then you just waited and you just waited and kept your fingers crossed and hoped that you got tickets. So for the 79 tour, me and my mate, we weren't going to take any chances at all. So we went down to the Wembley box office at about 4 o'clock in the morning. The night before it was, but they were going on sale, and just waited in the queue until we got our tickets, especially because we wanted tickets for a few. Well, it was 3 nights, so yeah. Terry says, first time I saw Macca was on a holiday in Barcelona in 1990. Great place to see him, and he and the band were fantastic. And we got front row seats. That's brilliant. So that would have been the Hamish Stewart and Robbie McIntosh lineup. Christopher Whittins, is it? Whittins? Yeah, brilliant. Boyan says, glad to hear you've been able to confirm the tickets. Hopefully you can make sense of my nonsense emails. Perhaps we can grab that beer that you mentioned after the sound check. Yes.
They all make perfect sense.
Mrs. Beatley-Tone says that they all make sense to her. So, and she's much cleverer than me. So it would do, wouldn't it? But we will talk on email, Boyan. But honestly, I'm so happy about that, and just really grateful. So thank you so much, mate. Ashford said, I wish Paul would talk more in interviews about his post-Beatles songs. We already know so much about the Beatles catalogue, yet we know relatively little about his post-1970s songs. Yeah, you're right. I mean, the thing is that Paul has got, he's got his set format. I don't know if Andy's still on. Andy Nichols is still on. But this is something that that he always says. He probably has to tell the interviewer which questions to ask, because they're the ones that he's got like a ready-made answer for. We know that yesterday was once called scrambled eggs, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, it would be great. But having said that, we've got great journalists like Adrian Sinclair and Alan Kozin writing the McCartney Legacy, that is going to, that is telling us all, all that they can find out about these songs. And the things that they are finding out, I think, are probably things that Paul can't even remember, because it's so long ago for him. He probably can't even remember. So we're probably getting more information from them than we would even if Paul did talk about his his solo songs. Martin says, do you collect Beatles monthly? Yeah, I think I've got them all. I collected them. They're all on that shelf over there, which you can't see. But they started reprinting them in 1976, which was just around the time when I discovered the Beatles, handily enough. So I started collecting them, and in those days, so they had the original magazine, and then there was like about 10 pages, or 12 pages or something, 6 either side of the magazine, that was like up to date news, what was going on with the the solo Beatles at that time, and various articles and letters page and whatever. So I started collecting. So they started in 1976 and reprinting them, and I think there were 77 original copies, and I think, and I can't remember what number it went to, but I think it ended sometime in 2003. So it went from 1976 to 2003, one a month. So someone can work out how many issues that is. Armin says, I hope for some Macca gigs in Germany. It's so great. It's still on the road. I'm so grateful for that. Yeah, I'm surprised that the European leg is so short at the moment. I'm not sure whether he does usually, I would expect there to be another announcement next week, but I'm not sure when the dates are going to be, because the UK dates, it finishes on the 19th, and then he normally goes to Liverpool for Christmas. He always likes to tour the UK in December. When he's touring, the UK usually gets dates in December, and then he goes to Liverpool when he's finished the tour and has Christmas in Liverpool. So unless they're going to announce something for, he hasn't announced anything in Germany. There's nothing in the Netherlands, Austria, places that he has played before, but he hasn't announced anything. Nothing in Portugal. So unless he's going to add some dates like before the Paris gigs, it looks like it will be next year for the rest of Europe. Hopefully not. You don't have to wait until this time, or not this time, but December time next year. But hopefully maybe he might do something maybe in January or February. Kier's here. Hi, Kier. From what I've heard from Mind Games, is there a song that has given you a new appreciation after hearing the new mix? Just all of it. I can't. Every time, as every track came on, as I listened to it, like my jaw was dropping. It just sounded so fantastic. But there's one song, and I can't remember which one it is. I think it might be I know. I'm not sure. But there is a load of, John does a load of like ad-libbing, which I'd never heard before. I mean, obviously it's been brought up in the mix, but I've heard it before, and I need to go back to the old version now to see if I can hear it, which I'll need to do that. For my review video, I'll have to do a comparison, between the two, to spot what's new. There's a couple of funny bits. There's one track, I think, where the there's a little flurry of saxophone at the end where that has been missed off, and that at the end of, I think it's I See My Sen, there's that sort of synthesizer noise that goes woo 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 woo. Well, it only goes woo now. And I've no idea. I wonder who sat there and thought, I've just had a brilliant idea. Let's get rid of 3 woos. Don't know. But yeah, I think, Keir, when you hear it, I just think as a general thing, you know, you'll just have a much better opinion of mind games. So we've got 90 people on. That is fantastic. Thank you everyone who turned up. It was a bit short notice. Uncut, nine Lennon tracks from Deluxe. What does that mean? I'm not sure what you mean, Mike. Okay. One Hand Clapping went into the charts at number 10. Yeah, was that the UK charts? Was that the UK charts? I think someone John, who's just coming up in a minute, he likes to give me the chart positions. Ashford Wells says, even John talked more about his post-Beatles work than Paul does about him. It is true. Hi, John. Tone, do you think Pete Best will open Paul's concert on Manchester? He said he would like. Yeah, I did see that. I don't know. I mean, Paul doesn't normally have a support act for his gigs because, you know, he plays close to 3 hours. So he doesn't normally need a support act. Normally they show like a film before he comes on. So you know what? I can't see it really. I can't see it. But maybe, I mean, he might like the novelty value of that. I don't know. Hi, Mal. I saw the Beatles live at the Liverpool Empire in 1963. Wow. With Roy Orbison. Couldn't hear a note with all the screaming. I love it. I love it when we get first generation Beatles fans on and tell us about how it was back in the day, like first hand experience stories. I love that. So thanks for telling it. Must have been amazing. So Roy Orbison was the support, right? And can you remember the songs they did that night? But you know, fantastic to have seen them just kind of, you know, just on the cusp of exploding. How late in 1963 was it, you know, towards the end of the year where we're just sort of preparing maybe to go to America, or was it earlier in the year? Well, obviously they were screaming. I know everyone else thinks that they invented Beatlemania, but it did actually start here. Okay. Keir says the live appearance of Soily could not have been bettered in the studio, I reckon. So it's a B-side and a track on the Wings Over America. Yeah, it was, but it was such a, you know, it's such a strange choice for the very last song on the Wings Over America tour, an encore song. You know, people that were there, you know, wouldn't have known that song. They wouldn't have known that song unless they were on the European tour in 1973 or 72. They probably wouldn't have even known that song. It's fantastic. I mean, I still think that version is better, the Wings Over America version, but that version on One Hand Clapping just rocks. The Pickle says Pete Best is a definite. Is a definite what? I know what he means. Ashford was. I'm still waiting for the world to catch up on how great Flowers in the Dirt is. Well, I ranked it at number 7. Mrs. Beatley Tone put it at number 1. But I ranked it at number 7 on their ranking that I did recently. Hi, Marcus. Nice to see you. I'm really disappointed after being booted twice from the pre-sale and general sale for Manchester. I hope he might announce more shows. I hope so too, mate. But you know, you have to keep an eye out. That's the thing, because you know there will be lots of people. There will be lots of people that will have got tickets and then tried to get better tickets and if they were successful getting better tickets, they might sell the ones that they originally had. So just keep an eye on the, Ticketmaster site, or is Ticketmaster? Yeah, it is Ticketmaster for Manchester, isn't it? And just keep looking every day and just seeing if any come available. That's best I can say. Apart from that, you're talking about tout sites, I suppose, but which are mega expensive. It depends on how badly you want to go, I suppose, and and how much you're willing to spend. Kit says, seriously, Blu-ray is the only way to access the hidden tracks. What a pain in it. But a Blu-ray player, a Blu-ray player, yeah. That's what I understand. I don't know if that's true, but I haven't actually tried any of the CDs apart from CD1, which is the actual album, the remix. But we'll see. I mean, once I've sort of discovered all this, this stuff, I will do a video and tell everyone how to do it if I can work it out. But from what I've heard is if you've got a Blu-ray player, you put your CD, your Blu-ray player should be hooked up to your TV, obviously. So when you put a CD in there, you should get a menu come up on the TV. And then I think you hit the back button and then you get a hidden menu come up. That is what I've heard. But I haven't actually tried it myself. Mike McGrath says, people say how unlucky Pete Best was. Surely nobody has earned as much out of time in the history of music. Well, I don't know about that, but I think that we heard on an anthology one. We heard on anthology one, particularly on the version. I think it's "Love Me Do" in it. There's a version of "Love Me Do" that he drums on, which is it's not good. It's not good. Pete did 2 years, and over 30 years later, he bags 5 million. Yeah, absolutely. But it's part of the story. It's part of the story. Lee says, Tone, with Peter Jackson's technology, they could really transform Grow Old With Me, make it a proper classic record. Are you looking forward to the remixes of Frears, Bird and Real Love? Well, I don't know if there will be remixes of them. The opportunity to do that was when the Red and the Blue album came out last year, because they should have been on it. They should have been on it because Now and Then was on it, and the whole thing about the Red and the Blue album was that the Red and the Blue album contained every single and key album tracks, and Free as a Bird and Real Love are every single. So they should have had a remix and been on the Red and Blue. And I don't know whether there will be another opportunity to remix them. I don't know. I don't know under what circumstances they would remix them, and release them. You can't sort of tag them onto another album. The only way it could be done with any sort of credibility would be, I suppose, if there was some sort of I suppose there could be a standalone single. There could be a standalone single like Now and Then, or it could be if there was ever a reissue of Anthology, perhaps they could do it for that. Duncan says, I'm just downloading the electronic version of Bruce Spizer's Hard Day's Night book. Enjoy, Duncan. Pete plays part in the history for sure, but he didn't fit. No, I agree. Hi, James. Nice to see you. I am very well, thank you. Just tuning in and dropping out. Okay, James, is it bedtime? Is it bedtime? It's quite late here now. It's nearly 11 o'clock in the UK. Hi, Tom. Do you know how many hidden tracks there are on the Mind Games box set? As far as I know, I think there are 8. So far, I've if you watch my unboxing video, you'll see how the tracks can be revealed. I think there was 8, but they're not all musical tracks. I think that one of them is a video. It's a video, and it's the I think it's the official advertisement for Mind Games from back in the day. But I think there are 8 items to be found, or ones that I found the clues telling us where they are. But if you watch my unboxing video, you'll see what I mean. Nick says Only Love Remains is easily worth 150 quid, Dino. Stop moaning. And is your daughter still up? Does she want to see me knock this picture off again? Marcus says, do you think we'll see a Rubber Soul box set this year, Tony? I don't know. I'm pretty sure we will see a Beatles box set this year. I'd be surprised if we don't. But I don't know whether it'll be Rubber Soul or not. Really, it's difficult to say because they keep, they throw curved balls all the time, don't they? So it's difficult to say. You would think it would be Rubber Soul. We're now at Revolver, and we no one has ever told us that it's going to be Rubber Soul, but we are assuming now that because we've arrived at Revolver that we're going backwards, and so Rubber Soul is next. But I would have been happy if they'd done Please Please Me, rather than do the Red and Blue album. I would prefer that they would have done Please Please Me and With the Beatles in 2023, because it had been 60 years. This year it's 60 years since Hard Day's Night and Beatles for Sale, so it could be one of those. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. But there does seem to be there's so much going on this year, because I think that there could be something else coming from the Lennon camp as well, because Sean kind of hinted that there's more to come. So there could be something else coming this year from the Lennon camp, and it might be the remixed one-to-one concert. But if that crowds the timetable, and then we've also it's heavily rumored that there'll be a new Paul McCartney album this year. So that's got to fit in somewhere. But we've had a Beatles album, pretty much every year, really, apart from during COVID, but pretty much every year, haven't we, since 2017? So I'd be surprised if there's not anything this year. But it's a busy and an expensive year. James says Pete Best is an essential footnote. A footnote because he wasn't with them when they were famous. Essential because without him they wouldn't have gone to Germany. Recorded My Bonnie Met Brian. Yeah, all true. Andy's still here. Do you want to come up, Andy? If you do, let me know. Right. Trevor says Pete is a star. Morris says, hi, Morris. I saw Paul McCartney and Wings at the Bristol Hippodrome in 1975. Yes. I remember you telling me that. So that was the start of the sort of the Wings Over America tour. Boyan says, it's just about 7:45 a.m, so I'll be going back to bed for a couple of hours, but look forward to watching the rest of this back later. Have a good night time. Thank you, Boyan. Well, you've probably already gone because I'm probably miles away down, but yeah, I'll 7:45. Yeah, it was about quarter of an hour, 20 minutes ago. You've probably gone. You've probably gone. But thank you so much, and I will speak to you. I will speak to you. James says, I paid through the nose to see Paul at the O2 in 2018. I was sat pretty near Ringo, but I just can't justify the cash this time round. Well done, those who have got tickets. Lee says, was the record company correct in not issuing Red Rose Speedway as a double album? Not for me. Not for me. I think it's better as a double album, personally. But, yeah. Oh, did he? Right, I need to work out how to do that now, don't I? I think this is the... I'll invite, hang on. Just posted a link, Andy. Right. Charlie said, I got to shake Paul's hand for like a nanosecond when he was in New Orleans recording Venus and Mars as he was going through the crowd at C. Saint Studios. Okay. That was good. Well, that is better than nothing. It's better than nothing. I mean, not many people get to touch Paul's hand. Let's be fair. I've met him 3 times, which is very, very fortunate. But yeah, you know, as I say, any contact with Paul is always great. Terry says, don't forget that this week celebrate the 50th anniversary of the debut of another great band, and their golden collection came out today. So let's hear it for the Wombles. Yes, the Wombles. That's probably, you've probably just totally confused everyone who is not from the UK, Terry. The Wombles. Creation of Mike Batt. He was the musician, and the Wombles are these sort of, well, I don't even know what they are, what sort of creatures they are. But they, you know, they had a load of hit records in the 70s. It's Andy Nichols from Tone X.
Hello, Tone.
Hi, mate. How are you?
I'm okay. Thanks for inviting me on.
No problem. No problem. You've had me on enough times, so it's good to share the love.
Good chat. Good comments, and you made JohnLennon.com. You've made it.
I can't believe. I don't know. I don't know if people know that, but yes. Someone messaged me. Well, left a comment on my video yesterday to say that my unboxing video of Mind Games was on the homepage of JohnLennon.com. I went on there, and there it was. I could not believe it.
Your face right on JohnLennon.com.
I know. I can't believe it. My mind is blown. My mind is absolutely blown, but fantastic.
Well deserved, man. That is fantastic.
So, what's happening in New Jersey tonight?
I'm not going outside. That's for shitting shore at 100 degrees.
Because is it really? You know,
yeah,
that's hot.
It's been. Have you seen Dino's new page on Facebook? He made a page for the
tickets.
Yeah,
I saw his video about it, but I haven't. I've been out all day, and that's why I was late coming on. But I did see Dino's video talking about the page, but I haven't had a chance to look at it yet. I
cannot believe some of the posts and the horror stories that people have gone through to get these tickets.
Yeah, I know. It's you know, it was an absolute fiasco. It was an absolute fiasco.
It was a shit show.
Yeah, it was. But you managed to get tickets for both Manchester shows.
Yeah. And I got them through Event Travel, which was another company that was doing the packages. And they went on sale on Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. BST, which meant 5 a.m. for me.
Yeah.
Very appropriately, Wednesday morning at 5 a.m. is the day begins.
Yeah, I heard you say that last night.
So I said, okay, let's try it. And my friend Heidi, she was on her laptop. I was on mine, just trying to do it. And even that site was bogged down. Getting in, looking like we had a ticket, and then the site would crash, the page would crash, it would knock you out. And we did that for about 10 or 15 minutes. Then finally the page would load, and then you got a confirmation number, and they're like, okay, looks like you've got a reservation there. Hold it. Okay, let's go to the next page where you've got to put your info in to pay for the tickets, and it was just forever and ever to go. And finally, we got it, and then did it, and then we got the one we didn't get the same seats for both shows, but we got one, the hot sound package, which I think your buddy I saw earlier in the chat got you for the O2 show, right?
I know, fantastic boy, and he's from Australia.
That's great. That is so awesome.
Yeah, he came on my channel after seeing Paul in Australia last year, and he came and told us, about the gig. And I can also see Jason's in here, who's also from Australia. He also came on the channel and told us about I think he went to 2 gigs. I think.
Did you have? So he got you tickets for the hot sound package, but is that for the same night for the tickets you had previously got?
Yeah,
already?
yeah, the 19th. Yeah,
right. So I guess you could just whatever.
Yeah, it's just absolutely brilliant. That's blown me away tonight. What a week it's been! What a week! Got
right?
the package from the Lennon Estate. Appeared on
Lennon Estate, and now you got basically what, first 4 rows, or what do you want guaranteed?
I think it said 4 to 8 rows, 4 to 8.
Have you ever seen him that close?
Yeah, I have. I've done the. We went to. We saw him in Stockholm. And did the VIP package.
Okay.
I think we're in row 2 for that. And also we saw him in 2007. He did Electric Proms.
Electric Proms, yeah.
At the Roundhouse, which is an all-standing venue in London. It used to be a punk venue in the 70s, but it's all it's all yuppified now.
Of course.
But he played there, and that because it was all standing. We were pretty near the front for that as well. But but that's great.
In the past, when you've gotten the VIP, like is it through that same company that offers them? Like
Event Travel.
They're the ones that offer that package exclusively.
Yeah, it is. Right, let's have a look at some. We'll have a look at some comments. Before we do, if any of you are not familiar with Two Legs. The Paul McCartney podcast. Andy is a co-host with Tom Hanyardi. It is the best Paul McCartney centric podcast on YouTube. So please go over there, like and subscribe, and watch their shows because they're fabulous.
Too kind. When we have no technological snafus between 2 people, 2 hosts, and microphones, but
it was a bit unfortunate last night, but
that was a rough one.
Live is live. it's like when I play with my band, and the guitarist has forgotten to take the capo off his guitar from the song before, and we're playing in a completely different key.
Yeah.
So
do I sound okay? Do I sound okay tonight? At least do I sound okay tonight?
Yeah. You sound great.
Okay.
Okay. Let's.
Yeah, catch up. But I would love we'll talk more on this. But I would love if we can have a chance to meet up when I fly over.
Yeah, we'll try and.
I know it's a little bit of a ride for you to come up, but to do that. But we'll see. Do you think he's going to add a Liverpool show?
I thought that he might. I'm surprised it hasn't been announced yet, but we'll have to wait and see, I guess. Yeah, that would be. I was because I really wanted to see him in Liverpool, but we'll have to wait and see. Yeah. You did a review for Mind Games yesterday, and that's what you said. I'll have to look it up if that's what you haven't said. No, it wasn't a review. It was an unboxing video. It was an unboxing video.
Right.
So I know that whenever something new comes out, there's a huge, virtual bundle to get your review out as quickly as possible and get as many views as you can. But I don't really like doing that for reviewing. I have to live with it and listen to it for a few times. Otherwise I'll say something that a few months later, I think, what was I talking about? That's absolute nonsense. So so I'll probably have a review of the box set out for next weekend, I would think.
Yeah, you have to sit with it. You have to sit with it for a bit before you can't
Yeah.
just throw a quick review. You've got to really absorb it. And 6 discs, you can't. What I mean, you only just got the thing a week ago.
Yeah. Okay, right. Who we've got? We've got Jason. Jason from Sydney. Hi, mate. Nice to see you. Did you see what Boyan said? You remember Boyan because he came on the show as well as you did back when the Australia tour. He's sorted me out. He sorted me out some VIP tickets for the O2, which is fantastic. Yes, I saw you commented this on my video, and I haven't had a chance to answer it yet. Have you seen When We Was Fab, the new book on the 1964 Australasian tour? My copy arrived yesterday. Looks fantastic. No, I didn't know about it. Do you know about that, Andy?
No, I'm not aware of that one. Well, I did hear about it, but I have not obviously read it. But I did hear about it.
No, I have to check that out. Be interested to hear what you think of it, Jace, when you've got into it. Trevor says, Mike Batt, Womble King. He absolutely was. And if you minuetto allegretto, you will live to be old. Always remember that. Take that into later life. Apparently, Mrs. Beatley Tone has just said that the book doesn't come out here, when we was Fab, until October. Doesn't come out here till October. Bungo really was the ring. All right, okay, look, let's cut Womble chat. Right.
Anybody see the picture of Paul munching on his lunch in the canteen at Abbey Road Studios today? That was posted on one of those Paul McCartney Fanthology Facebook pages. I think it was today.
No, I haven't. Seen
what's he in the studio for? Is he finishing his album up? And of course, there's all those comments and questions.
Yeah. Let's hope so.
Yeah.
Or maybe he's there working on the Back to the Egg archive. Lee likes the get rid of the 3 woos comment. Did you hear what I said about Isemacen on the Mind Games album?
Yes. Yeah.
Crazy. I mean, I'm not bothered by it, but I just wondered, who would make that decision, or who would? I've got a really brilliant idea. Let's get rid of 3 of those woos.
Joe Mayo was triggered that was cut.
I know. I saw. He doesn't like it. I know.
I'm going to be disappointed that's cut too as well, because I enjoyed that little outro, but we'll see.
I think we knew that it was cut because that was on the it was on the Record Store Day release, wasn't it? I thought we'd already heard it.
Yeah, you're right. Yes, it was.
Yeah, I think.
I couldn't even notice it. So there you go.
Yeah,
Good job, Sean.
I did notice it, but I didn't know whether Well, I didn't know that was going to be on the album as well or whatever. But right. Charlie says not a bad way to spend Friday night. That's good. I'm glad you think so. We got 94 on at the moment.
Yeah.
Keir says Mind Games was the first Beatles solo album I bought at Chicago Records in Galway, Southern Ireland, as a 15-year-old boy. Immediately, Bring On the Lucy and Out the Blue were faves. Yeah, Out the Blue is great. You Are Here is great. Intuition, I love Isemacen, Tight As, Mind Games. There's plenty of really good songs on there, and I just think this remix is people are gonna appreciate it more. I think. Where do you stand with Mind Games, Andy?
It's my favorite overall LP of John Lennon. It is. Because it just fell it kind of always flew under the radar. It's kind of like in the middle, as you said a few minutes ago. Not as acclaimed as Plastic Ono Band or Imagine, or Walls and Bridges. I was one of the earlier albums I always identified with and was drawn to the music. Bring On the Lucy, Out the Blue, a Seam Ascent. I've enjoyed those. I've always enjoyed that. So I've been waiting about 30 years for a release like this.
Yeah. I played some of the Elemental mixes, and they just sound fantastic. I wasn't a massive fan of the Elements mixes on the previous box sets, and the Elemental mixes are more like those. But some of the bass playing that you pick up is incredible. It's like one thing I said. I think that I'm quite. I think that I'm reasonably, musical. But it hadn't even occurred to me that the "Love Is the Answer" sequence in Mind Games is reggae, and because it was so buried. But when you hear it on this Elemental mix, you can hear with the bass and the chinky guitars.
Yeah.
It's reggae. It's reggae.
And I love that quote of John talking about trying to teach reggae to New York musicians in 1973. Trying to teach reggae to New York musicians in 1973 just wasn't happening, but they tried.
Yeah. So Kears likes quite a lot of Mind Games. Yeah, I do too. Tim says, "Mind Games always a favourite of mine. Can't wait to get it, and I will prefer it to Walls and Bridges. Can't wait to get it, and I will prefer it to Walls and Bridges. Favourite track is Out the Blue." Okay. What's Charles got to say? First time I saw Macca was Flowers in the Dirt tour, 1989. I think at Wembley. I went to Wembley on that tour as well. He did a few nights though, so it might not have been the same night. I couldn't believe my luck. The tour guide handed the tickets out on the bus. It was front row seats. And do you also remember that you got a free program, a free tour book?
Yeah, they got free.
It was on your seat.
Yeah,
it was on your seat.
The whole courtesy of Friends of the Earth bit.
That's right. Yeah, and they did that. They did that for the New World tour as well, the Off the Ground tour.
Yeah.
Well, so
do you still have it, Tom?
I do. Yeah, somewhere upstairs somewhere. Yeah. I do.
A free tour program. Could you imagine that in 2024?
I mean, can you remember how much they charged for the Got Back tour program when you went to see him in the States?
$50 US.
$50 US. That's probably around 40 odd pounds, something like that.
Probably 43 pounds or something.
That is expensive. That's expensive. The days of free programs are gone.
But it was not like it wasn't like a 10-page book. It was a whopper. It was big.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I did see, but the free programs were quite thick as well. They were probably about that thick, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, they weren't like the Back to the Egg tour program was, just a handful of, probably 20 pages maybe, and most of those were
just like Wings Over America tour programs. Just a couple of glossy photos, really. Yeah.
Right. Okay, Mike, you're explaining your earlier comment. The Uncut Magazine free CD contains 9 John Lennon tracks taken from the Mind Games Deluxe box set. Wow, that's great. That's great promotion for the box set, I guess.
Yeah.
Martin says, Tone, I love the use of Uncle Albert in Only Fools and Horses. Oh, shut up. Oh, actually, it is played. That's not. I thought you were joking, but actually, it is played, isn't it? In Fools and Horses, isn't it when Uncle Albert goes missing? I can't remember. It's so long since I watched it. But Trevor says in the UK must get uncut tomorrow.
Yeah.
Mine says Ram reminds me of Pet Sounds. Oh, Ram is much better than Pet Sound.
And I love Pet Sounds. I do. Yeah. I know Joe does.
I'm not crazy about it. I like some of it. I do like some of it, but I think it's overrated. I think, but
I like better. There's other Beach Boys albums I like better than Pet Sounds.
Yeah.
But I could see why people think it's a little bit overrated.
Yeah. Trevor loves Ram.
Yeah.
John says, Tony is Taylor Swift the new Beatles? No.
Tony's
She's not.
The new Taylor Swift.
Yeah. But yeah. No, she's she's the new Taylor Swift, I suppose. But
The Beatles are the Beatles, and Taylor
yeah,
Swift is Taylor Swift.
yeah. I mean, she's mega popular, but will she be popular in 60 years? That's the question. We'll have to wait and see. Right, what's this one? Technology. I just noticed you got Mind Games Deluxe box set. Looking forward to your review. I have pre-ordered and can't wait. Good work posting these updates. We all greatly appreciate it. Thank you. You are welcome. Thank you very much. Thank you. Oh, John's here. Hi, John. You've finally managed to make one because you're normally at work, aren't you? So great to see you. Great to see you, mate. I can't remember how much the box set was. It's around £150 or something like that. £140, £150. I can't remember what it was. It's so long ago. Right, looking forward to Mind Games review. Yeah, the review should be probably out next weekend. Dinner with Greedo is here. Yo. I've missed most of this. Damn. Can you recap every question and every answer? Okay, so it started off with me being late. Then I said hi to everyone. Then we talked about getting Macca tickets. Then we talked about you for quite a bit. I don't know. Just catch up. You're here now. It's okay. Right. Have you been to the pub?
Well, this is early. This is relatively early for you, Tone, because you're usually on streams late
yeah.
in the
week. I was on till about. I was on your stream till about almost 3 o'clock last.
This is like an early night for you.
It is an early night.
Told off for that.
She's saying I got told off for coming to bed at 3 o'clock. She said, "Why you come up so late?" I said, 2 legs went live.
No.
Right, what do you think of the backyard sessions not being on the CD? So what do I think about the backyard sessions not being? I think I don't think it's right. I think that both both formats should be the same.
Universal,
yeah. There's no reason why. There's no reason why. That they should be different. I said when I was talking about it, it's kind of roles have reversed. When CD was the new kid in town, they used to put extra tracks on CDs to try and persuade you to buy something you already own. But now vinyl is king of the castle again. They're giving incentives to buy vinyl, but personally, I think that they should be the same. They should be the same. And the thing is that because there is no, it's not on the CD. That means that there's probably no digital files for it, so it won't even be. You won't probably be able to stream it either. No. What do you think? What do you think, Andy? Are you happy that it's vinyl incentive, or you think that it should be the same?
I'm kind of torn. I kind of agree with you because it would be nice if both sets were universal, but I kind of like the exclusivity of it being on vinyl. And as I said last night, it wasn't too out of range. It was only the price range to get the exclusive on Paul's site. To get the EP was not inordinate.
That's true. But I mean, a lot of people, haven't gone back to vinyl. Maybe they don't have a record player. They just buy CDs because that's what they because that's what they they listen to.
I mean, I'm sure people will rip it. They'll rip it and make it digital anyway and share it that way.
Yeah,
but I mean, it's not going to come out. You can't stream it. It won't be out. You won't be able to stream it or anything.
Terry says, "Free as a Bird and Real Love remix for Record Store Day 2025." Yeah,
well, that'd be nice.
That would be nice. That would be nice. Right. Okay. Where are you? How about a new Hey Jude album with three as a yeah, but the thing with the Hey Jude album, the Hey Jude album is the Hey Jude album for a specific purpose, isn't it? It's to sort of gather up the tracks that weren't on Capitol, is it? I think.
Yes.
Yeah. And some non-album.
Yeah, because non-album B-sides
Yeah.
and anything like a lot of the stuff that was on A Hard Day's Night was on United Artists, so they were all going to be on a Capitol album. That's why.
It's funny because Hey Jude, as you know, is a US album. Wasn't released in the UK, but it was one of the first Beatles albums that I bought. It was just in the rack. I liked the look of the cover. I didn't realize it was an import. I didn't realize that it was a compilation. I just thought, it's a Beatles album. I'll have that. And I've loved it ever since. I've always loved that album.
I think it first got to the UK in '76.
Yeah, that would have been around the time when I bought it. Yeah, that's when I discovered them. Trevor's also calling for Hey Jude to be expanded. Okay. Ashford World says, I don't mind the ending to Walrus on the new Blue album. It's a different take on it. And the original mixes were all a bit out there. Yeah. I agree 100%. It doesn't bother me. It's not even the bit where that comes in, the umpa stick it up your jumper bit. It's not even the Beatles. It's not even the Beatles. No. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I like the fact that we've got something different.
It's something different. You can go listen to the other 10 versions you have if you want to hear that.
Yeah, and all the pluses. Even if you don't like that ending, the pluses on I'm the Walrus, on that version of I'm the Walrus, the improvements that Giles made, got rid of that horrible edit on the sitting in an English garden bit.
Yeah.
Got rid of that. The rest of the song sounds fabulous. It's really great. Right. Charlie says, Joe Mayo, if I heard right, said that Peter Jackson bought the rights to the Hamburg recordings. Yes, I believe that is true. So he's obviously got some plans, but whether it will see, commercial release, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think he's just bought them as a vanity project.
Probably.
Something for him to do when he's not busy. Duncan says a Hard Day's Night box set. Yes, please. Dino, what we were just talking about your group, your ticket group. I also saw Paul sing "Only Love Remains" live in Newcastle. Was that on the Tube? I remember he did the Tube in 1980. He did quite a lot of promotion for Press to Play. I seem to remember. He's probably on Wogan as well.
Yeah.
Live in Newcastle at that time, and it was free. So that was great value. Sorry, Tone. Princess V is fast asleep. Oh, okay. Well, she'll have to wait next time then for me to knock that picture off the wall. Right. Personally, I've always preferred Past Masters 1 and 2 to the red and blue comps anyway. Well, they're different kinds of records, aren't they? I've always had a soft spot for the red and blue because they were the first albums I ever got. They were the albums that they were my gateway to the Beatles. What do you think, Andy? Past Masters or red and blue?
I'd probably say red and blue now that it's been redone, but it was nice to have My Name, look up at the number on CD. In the early CD age, it was like, wow, we can actually get a true B-side on B-sides on CD. It was a big deal.
Yeah, it was, and that was great. Those Past Masters from '88, it just mopped up all those other tracks. So we then had everything on CD.
It had everything. It was it was a good way to put it all together, and put it out there along with the German, the German songs, and to kind of tie it all up.
Yeah. Someone's just said Andy's mic is a bit low volume.
Someone further down has said your mic is a little bit low.
Oh, okay.
Turn yourself up a bit. Terry says, I'd love to see Beatles for Sale box set. As for me, this album is seriously underrated. Yeah, it's one of my least favourites, definitely. And I think that is because of the covers, because I think that the original songs on it are great. The Lennon McCartney songs on Beatles for Sale are great, I think. Yeah, the cover, things like.
But I've always said like the worst Beatles album is like light years better than anybody else's record.
Yeah. So bring it on, Taylor Swift.
It's like really, okay,
Yeah.
like the worst and Beatles like are just like it's two words that you shouldn't even put together. But I get it.
Martin says Paul has a better album still in him than McCartney 3. Well, let's hope so. So where would you what do you reckon, Andy? Where would you put McCartney 3 in? If you, and I'm putting you on the spot here, but if rough position of McCartney 3 in your Paul McCartney ranking.
Ooh.
I think I put it at something like 16 or 17 or something like that. I think.
I would probably have it somewhere in that same ballpark.
Yeah.
As you. I got some distance from it. I think I do like it better than Egypt Station, which I know you're not as keen on. You were excited about Egypt Station. I remember you said on one of your videos.
Yeah.
But it hasn't had the staying power to keep you in with it.
No. Okay, well, we'll see very soon. Hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, tracks like deep feeling. You come back to that and you realize how just impressive of a track that is.
Yeah,
you can sit with it for a bit.
Yeah, I love that. There are a few tracks that I really love on McCartney 3.
Yeah, Seize the Day.
Yeah. Okay, Richard says, finally managed to get a chance to say hello while you're live. Thanks for all the videos. You're welcome, Richard. Thank you for being on. Graham's here. We need a brand new quality Hamburg's tapes, but do we? Graham, I think. I think it would be brilliant from a historical point of view. But I'm not sure how often I would play the Hamburg album, even if it was in great quality,
even if it was cleaned up.
I mean, I've had it since it came out in 1977. I reckon if I've played it 10 times, I'm probably exaggerating a bit. And even cleaned up, it is still mostly covers. I mean, it would be great to have it from a historical point of view, but I don't think it would be some. There would be loads more on my wish list before we got to them. But everyone's different. Everyone's got different priorities, and that's why whenever there is an announcement of something, something new's coming out, there will always be some people that will moan about it because it's not what they wanted.
Yeah. You'll have them. Even cleaned up. I mean, stuff like I Remember You and things like that. It'll be nice. They're nice to listen to, but you're not going to come back to it a ton,
Mm.
But I mean, I think we should have it. But I agree with you, Tony. We wouldn't be listening to it all the time. I know a lot of people are clamoring for star tapes, but are you gonna? Is it gonna be constantly playing in your rotation?
No.
No.
Not for me. Not for me. But I'd quite like to. Like it's a bit like. I suppose it's a bit like the Stowe School concert. I've listened to it once.
Yeah.
And I don't feel the need to go back and listen to it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a bootleg of it. Yeah.
Yeah. But now one disc is the original tape, right? And then the other one is like an AI cleaned up version of it, and it's pretty good.
Is it?
Yeah. It's really good.
Yeah. So the version that I heard, the vocals were really low in the mix.
The AI version is the better one. That they've really done some cleaned up work on that.
Yeah. Charles says, Tone, besides the music, do you think one hand clapping package was made as cheap as it can be? It should have had a gatefold with photos in it and a large studio poster as well. Look, the thing is, if they wanted, well, personally, I think that they kind of went for a bootleg vibe.
A
About
bootleg
with,
look, yeah.
with the packaging, with the sort of the dirty. If I've got it here, haven't I? It's here.
Oh, the CD got your gatefold, but
Yeah,
that's not the vinyl.
Well, this sort of this sort of mottled pattern that makes it look dirty, like a bootleg, and the sort of the white labels on the record. They went for that sort of look. I think because that's how one hand clapping started off life, really. These
last two releases have had a very minimalistic approach design to them. Underdubbed, one hand clapping, like very minimalistic, bootleggy, like not that's the kind of vibe I see with the art direction with both these releases.
So, but and the other thing, if they'd done it with a gatefold and put a poster in it and photos, it probably would have been more expensive.
Yeah,
it was very reasonably priced. I think it was £42 or £43 or something, something like that, which is it's a good price for a double album.
Yes, it is.
With a single as well, and so it's really hard. It must be really hard to get the balance right. To give the fans what they want, and even if you do try and give the fans what you want, you're never going to please 100% of the people 100% of the time. It's never going to happen.
No.
But you can give it a gatefold and a poster and whatever, and and charge 50 quid for it or 55 quid, and people say it's 55 quid. I'm not buying it.
Right, you up the price just a little bit, and then they're gonna go. That's it. I'm not doing it. You keep it in the low 40s. Oh, okay, sure, I'll get it.
Yeah, so it swings and roundabouts. I think for me, I mean, I think that this sort of design is rubbish. Basically, it's not great. It's not great, but I don't really care that much because the music inside that sleeve is fabulous.
Right? Who cares?
And that's what counts. And that's
absolutely.
What counts. So, I take your point, Charles. I do take your point. But it personally, it doesn't bother me that much that we didn't get a great great packaging for the record. Doesn't matter. Dino says, "Oh, I had a crush on Madame Cholet, you dirty perverts." Right. Okay. Right. We got Duncan says Pete Best is one of the many heroes who played his part in the Beatles story. Some did very well, others did not come off so well. So glad he has done so well eventually. I suppose he deserved his his out day in the sun or whatever you call it. He finally made some money out of Anthology 1. I suppose after when they're playing in Hamburg and touring around the UK, they probably weren't earning much at the gigs and everything, so they weren't paid much, so eventually made some money.
Story I got told in Liverpool about that was that Paul had 8 million. He goes, Pete, I got £8 million here. I can give it to the tax man, or do you want it? And of course, he took it. I don't know how true that is, but that's somewhere in that neighborhood. That's the legend that got passed down.
So this so when you go to Liverpool, when you're over here, Andy, you need to go to the new Beatles Museum in Matthew Street, which is run by Rogue Best
right.
Pete's brother. It's fantastic. It's really good. So that would have opened.
When did that open up?
I'm not sure, but we were there last year, and that was the first time I'd seen it. I'd been there. I'm not sure how long it's been there, but it is really, really good. It really concentrates on the early days because they've got loads of Pete's stuff in there.
Sure.
But they have got other things, They've got microphones and guitars and amps and stuff that they used in Hamburg and at the Cavern.
Oh, they have all that stuff at that museum.
Yeah, it's a really good museum. Really.
Where in relationship is this to the Cavern Club on Matthew Street? Is it
So
down the road?
It's on the opposite side of the road, and it's further down. Do you remember where the Rubber Soul Bar is?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
I think it's next door that.
Oh, okay.
I think it's next door that. So yeah, it's definitely worth.
For sure.
A couple of hours of your time. It's great. I really enjoyed that one. Graham says, I met Paul outside his home in St John's Wood when he arrived on his moped. He had to jump over next door's wall to open his electric gates that weren't working. We stood talking for about 5 minutes. How fantastic. Tell us what you talked about, Graham. Tell us. Mine says, House of Wax is Paul's best song of the last 25 years. What was the best track before then? Calico Skies, Beautiful Night. I don't know. I agree. House of Wax is the best song from this century, I think. So how far do we go? Where are we going back? So
you're going back to driving. Going back to Driving Rain, basically.
Even before that, we'll go. We're going back to 19. If we're going 25,
we're going 25 years, we're going
back to 1999.
Yeah.
Then I don't know, maybe something off of Flaming Pie, like you say. What are the tracks that I really love on maybe something like Heaven on a Sunday, or Some Days. Fantastic, I love that on
Flaming Pie.
On Flaming Pie, both those two tracks are great. I'd say I prefer both of those to Calico Skies and Beautiful Night, but both of those would be up there. I think both of those would be up there. James says, "Great news, Tone. Well done." I think that might be the John Lennon thing.
Yeah.
Martin says, "Tone, I'm a Flaming Pie guy. Love it. Egypt Station is a genuinely abysmal affair."
I don't know if with the word abysmal. I mean, it's a good record in spots. That the great is really great.
Yeah.
And the great not so great is not so great.
Would inconsistent be a good?
Yes, it would.
Adjective. Yeah.
yes, it would.
Yeah. Rox Orange says, the one and only use for AI would be to add the Fab's voices to the Yellow Submarine movie. Just to throw that out there. Hi from New Zealand. It's 10 a.m.
Down under.
Hi there.
Hello, Rox. Down under.
Yeah, hi, Rox. I spent 3 weeks in New Zealand in 2013. Amazing place. Beautiful country. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that sounds really, because obviously they use that actors for the films. One of them being the bloke that played Eddie Yates in Coronation Street. He played Paul.
Okay.
What's his name? Something Hughes. Jeffrey Hughes was the voice of Paul McCartney in Yellow Submarine. And I don't know any of the others. But yeah, that would be fun. That'd be fun. Keir is still here. What's great for me is I can say I speak to someone who has been in contact with Sean and Yoko, and that's as close as it gets. Well, I have met Yoko, but not anything to do with this box set. I went and saw her. She did a gig in London in 1986.
Was that the Star Piece? That was the Star Piece tour.
Star Piece tour, and I don't know what, but I went to the gig on my own because no one would go with me. I think it's the one. I did.
Was Mrs. Tone around then? She could have went.
No, she wasn't. She wasn't. There was another Mrs. Tone back then, but in 1986. But she wouldn't come with me either. So So I went on my own, and I don't know what possessed me, but I was kind of caught up in a celebrity moment because Mark McGann, who played John Lennon in that film John and Yoko,
A Love Story,
remember
yes.
that, and his fiance, who plays Yoko in that film, were in the audience, and I was speaking to them before the gig, and for some reason, I decided to go to the stage door and wait for Yoko to come out, and there was a load of other people there as well, and she did come out, and she was absolutely lovely. She was signing programs and chatting to people, and I didn't really know what to say to her. Really. I was a bit sort of, I'm not sure if starstruck is the word, but I don't know. I just couldn't think of anything to say that was of any consequence whatsoever. But she was lovely. She was lovely, and Sean was there as well. And he was about 11 or 12, maybe, I think.
Then yeah.
And he was sort of when she was performing with the band, you could kind of see him on the at the side of the stage, by the curtains. But yeah. John says, "I love the mind game." Are you talking about the games that we're going to be playing with this box set? Yeah, because it's.
Did you see any of these posts that were kind of questioning the approach that Sean took with mind games and talking about maybe overstating Yoko's involvement in the album? Because I saw some stuff on Facebook about that in the last day or two. Somebody wrote a really long thing about how they think that Sean is influencing her involvement in this project. And I don't really know where I feel about that, because history shows that it was the start of kind of them separating, right?
Yeah.
I don't. Somebody maybe in the comments if they saw that. I mean, they basically feel that like May Pang has been undervalued because this was kind of really the beginning of the Lost Weekend, not so much a John and Yoko project, say like Plastic Ono Band or Imagine was. I don't. There's a little bit of that out there right now.
Yeah, so May Pang gets a credit on one of the hidden tracks.
Okay.
And I can't remember which one now, but I think there's a promo film on there as one of the hidden tracks, and I think it's the original advertising campaign that they used back in 1973 for the album, and it said it features John Lennon, Elton John, Elliot Mintz, May Pang, and someone else. I think.
Right.
I can't remember, but yeah. Now I haven't got to the Evolution documentaries yet, but someone did a review, and I think that they said that the evolution of the ones where you kind of get like little sections of the song going, as they go through the takes sort of thing, and said that there was quite a lot of Yoko, talking over the mic on that. So she was obviously in the studio. Also, the band that plays on the album is the same band,
right? That she had
Feeling the Space. Yeah, used the same musicians.
Like kind of the whole like open your box thing, like all that kind of stuff that's been tied into this with the whole like both of them, Yeah. I don't know. It's really difficult to say, because it's quite a difficult thing to put an actual timeline on. I don't know whether do we actually know the actual date? I mean,
John left the Dakota. I don't know.
I mean, Mind Games came out in October, November of '73. I think that's when John left the Dakota, around that time. So really, the album was made in New York. So maybe it's not unreasonable to think that Yoko still had a hand in the sessions and helping produce it and things like that. But it was an interesting post I saw. It was pretty, it was like top to bottom, basically just ripping it all apart because they felt it was just overused. But what? No, well, another 3 weeks. So I can't wait to see who gets the first box, the first cube.
Yeah. It's going to be a race. Out of the people that I know, I think Mazzy's getting one as well, but he's keeping quiet about it. He's not admitting that he's getting one, but I think that he's getting one.
Yeah.
But out of the people that I know, you and Joe I think are the only ones that I know that are definitely getting it. So it's going to be a race between the two of you. See who can get it over. I think Joe might be using his influence as a former employee of the US Mail.
He might. He might. Can you do this? Can you get this to me sooner?
Yeah.
Like a couple days before it gets released? I'll tell you what, though. The Harrison crate, I got about 10 days before it was due to be delivered.
Oh, really? Really? Yeah. It'll be saying, so I don't care when you get it, but as long as you get it to me before you get to New Jersey.
Oh, yes. He'll be waiting with bated breath for that one.
Yeah. Okay. Trevor says, McCartney 2 is the last great LP by Paul. No, not for me.
No,
not for me. It's one of my least favorites. Andy, what do you think?
It's in the middle of the road. The middle, somewhere in the middle of the road. I don't have it at the bottom of the barrel, but it's not the last great LP. Christ,
No,
not by a long shot.
Quite a few that I like better than that.
I got to be in the right mood to listen to that album.
Yeah.
If you want to hear that funky synth experimental stuff, you put it on. I'm not going to listen to all you horse riders though, for Christ's sake.
No,
absolutely not. Mr. H. Adam or any of that stuff.
Oh God, that is awful, isn't it?
But Blue Sway's good.
Yeah, and I've always liked Check My Machine.
Yeah,
it's got that funky bass line. I love it. Yeah, I've always loved that.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Sal says, "Hey Tom, greetings from the USA. Greetings to you." So in terms of the Beatles' physical appearance, hair, moustaches, clothes, etc., what's your favourite era? Mine is Pepper. For me, it is the sort of Rubber Soul Revolver. I love the whole sort of mods scene.
Yeah.
That was in the sort of the mid 60s. So with the hair sort of quite long, but not ridiculously long, but
right, not White Album long, but it was just a little bit longer. Yeah, I kind of love that sort of Rubber Soul, and they're just wearing such great clothes as well on the cover of Rubber Soul. I love that. Think about the video. Think about the promotional film for Paperback Writer, how they're all decked out, like perfect. Yeah, I would agree with you.
Yeah, that would be my favorite Beatle look, I think. Okay, Terry says Mike Batt is also a great songwriter, producer, and arranger, and has worked with some amazing artists over the years, as well as the Wombles. I think I'm going to call the playback of this Womblegate or something like that. Right. John says, "I love Mind Games album, one of my favourite John Lennon albums." You're gonna love the remix, then, John.
So, Tony, you've only just listened to the first disc out of the set?
I've listened to the first two discs a couple of times. And tomorrow I'm going to be playing the original album and then playing the remix and making some notes and stuff.
To do a compare and contrast video. There you go.
Yeah. Right. Doug says, I'm not doing any more Wombles. Done. We're done with the Wombles. James says, shame you won't be row 2 at the O2. I'll get my coat. Yeah. Okay. And that's Mike Batt. So that's Wombles. Kyle's here. Kyle is here. Hi, Kyle. Hope you're still here. I think I might be a little bit behind on the comments. But,
a little bit.
Not too far. You guys should start your own podcast to rival legs. Trevor says you can call it extra legs.
Sure.
Graham said, that's the same. That's the same.
Yeah.
Julia's here. Julia, just letting you know that I was here the whole time, just listening. Okay. Good to know. Hope you're all right. Jason from Sydney, Beatles Book Podcast, did a great interview with the When We Were author last week. Okay. Yeah, did you hear that? Apparently, it's not here till
it's not out yet, but that's a great. Joe Wisby's he's a good bloke, and he does a good podcast on the books.
Charlie says, Andy, are you going to take in the Beatles London, Liverpool sites while you're over there?
Oh, I'm definitely going to go back to my old haunts in Liverpool for sure, because I'm not going to the London shows. I'm going to the Manchester shows. So hopefully we can work out a schedule and he can come up and hang out. I've got to, it's the shows are on the weekend, so I'm going to come over a couple days before, so I'll have some time. But I'll definitely be going back to Liverpool. I don't think I'll have the time to go to London, but I've done them all before. Richard Porter's tours and stuff like that. I've done that. So it'll be nice to see how Liverpool's changed in the 10 or so years that it's been since I've been back there. So
probably quite a lot.
Yeah.
Were they before you left? Were they already sort of ramping up the Beatleification of Liverpool?
Oh yeah, that was in full swing.
Yeah.
That was in full swing. I was there from 2010 to 2012, and it was already kind of in Liverpool 1 was opened up, and the first Beatles Story Museum was opened, and it was already kind of full throttle, and the John Lennon Peace Monument had gotten unveiled while I was there, and Cynthia and Julian came to unveil it. So certain things, Nick just said, I saw it's a late comment, the Epstein statue, that was not there when I was there. So, yeah.
Yeah, because the first time I went there was nothing there really.
When did you first go in there?
I first went in 1981, and the reason that I went there was that the play Lennon with Mark McGann playing John Lennon. I think it was like a one-man show thing. Was playing at the Everyman Theatre in Liverpool, and I think eventually it came to the West End in London. I think it went to Broadway as well eventually. But that was the first time that I went, and there was nothing there then really, and the cavern hadn't reopened, but the sign was there, the cavern sign was there, but there was it was just on the wall. There was no cavern, and no sort of bars all the way down the street, all named after different songs or albums or whatever. But it's when we went there last year, I mean, it's a totally different story now. They're really geared up for big Beatles tourism.
Oh, it was 14 years ago, but I'm sure it's been even more since then. When you do go up there, Tone, do you guys take the train? Because I imagine that must be the quickest way, right?
Probably is, but the last time we went, we did drive. We drove. It's about 4 hours.
About 4 hours, yeah. But I was amazed because I had to do quite a bit of research at the British Library. I would just go over to Lime Street and hop on a Virgin train and spend the day and be in London in 2 hours and change, and do my research at the British Library.
Yeah,
and then go back to Liverpool at night. I did that a few times, and I was amazed how fast the trains were.
Yeah, it's definitely quicker on the train, but it's a 2 hour journey. But then when you get to London, and obviously to get your train to go to Liverpool, we've got to get sort of right across London, which is about another sort of maybe 40 minutes or so to get to get to King's Cross or Euston or whatever station.
Euston Station, either one,
yeah. So there's not a huge amount in it, but and the trains here are just so expensive.
But is it still the thing that if you do pre-book it in advance, it's still cheaper? They still do that?
It's cheaper, yeah, it is. If you, the further in advance that you book it, the cheaper it is. I think to a point.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they're so expensive. Okay, let's move on. The Astral World says, I discovered Yoko's Approximately Infinite Universe album very recently, and it blew me away. Easily her best work. I think. Have I got it here? I have actually. So I've still got my props from my video here. I think this one may be better. I'm not sure. It's between those two. Definitely, this is Feeling the Space.
Feeling the Space.
This is the album that she recorded shortly before John recorded Mind Games. So it's got the same musicians on it. So this, I don't know if you can see this, but it says with something different. Something different are the female singers,
the backing vocal,
the female
girls,
that we hear on the Mind Games album throughout. Hold On Fast is amazing Yoko track. Yes, it is. It's a great track. It's a great track. She's done some good stuff. She has done some good stuff. And
I think the best one I like out of her stuff is Death of Samantha.
that's good.
Yeah.
Cool. Walking on Thin Ice is.
That
is a belter. That is a belter. Really great track. Terry says one of my favourite tracks on Mind Games is "Free the People," which was covered by Richard Ashcroft from The Verve, right? Back in 21. A fantastic track. I haven't heard that.
No,
I haven't heard that. Good to know. Good to know. Approximate Yoko, shockingly good.
Yeah.
If the version of Walrus we grew up with was the new Blue album mix, and we heard the old version of Walrus now, they'd be saying, "What's this extra?"
Of course.
Yeah, absolutely, Lee. Mix here still, and the Got Back tour program was still promising more in the archive editions from Paul. I'm still hoping that's true. Well, we'll see. We'll see whether that page is still in the program for the UK leg. And
I'm going to say probably not.
If it's not going to be in there, then we know. If it's still in there, we can still keep going. When are we getting back to the egg?
God, we're so desperate. We're just holding on hope on a little advertisement in a book.
Yeah,
and it's like, it's in the book. It's in the book. It's still going to be there, hanging on to like a thread, like we still want it. Well, it was in the tour book, so we're still going to have it. We are we're too much.
Yeah, I know. We're just hanging on the most remotest of hopes.
Oh, God.
Oh, God. Right. Terry says, I still have both free tour programs. And in 92, I went to see Paul at Earl's Court in September. And on the seats were flyers for the upcoming Red and Blue albums on CD. Oh, God. How do you remember this stuff? I didn't, and I remember this very well. I didn't see Paul in 93 in the UK. I remember he played Earl's Court, but he played Earl's Court when I was on holiday, so I couldn't go. So we went to Paris. We saw him in Paris on that tour, and it was that place that the Beatles played in the 60s, the Olympic Bercy or something like that, and it was all standing. And it was great. It was great. Right. Ashfelt Welch says Pet Sounds is an album that I like rather than love. Mike says love is the answer. I wonder if all the clues in the new Mind Games lead to love. Maybe, what with love being the answer. Good point. There's I've discovered things since doing my video. I've discovered other things that are, I don't know if they mean something or they're just something extra to amuse us. But in the book, the hardback book, there's writing on every page that kind of makes a story as you go through, as you flick the pages through.
Okay.
It's a continuing story. I hadn't noticed that. It's just down, if the book's like that, it's kind of, it's down the side of the page. And I think there's lyrics to all the songs. I think a line on every page, sort of thing. At the top, there's some braille in there I spotted. Yeah. So there's some funny old stuff going on. I'm not convinced that we'll actually be able to solve all these clues.
These clues. Well, they certainly had fun putting this one together.
Yeah,
and this was they really kind of.
Yeah, they definitely did. But I think that there will need to be a fair amount of sharing between fans to try and find all the clues. Oh, I've just discovered this, or I've just discovered that. And, people. Dino V will start a Facebook group. I'm sure that'll be share your Mind Games clue info here
in here, and let's see if we can solve it.
Yeah. Right. That's the same comment again. We're waiting to find out what you said, Graham. What songs on Ram are better than Wouldn't It Be Nice? God Only Knows.
Just about all of them.
Yeah. Backseat of my car.
Backseat of my car. Backseat of my car is better than is better than a lot of Beatles songs.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I really like Wouldn't It Be Nice and God Only Knows.
Of course.
Like both those tracks. They're great. They're great, but I like Ram a lot better. A lot better.
Night and day.
I mean, I've heard Ram a lot more than I've heard Pet Sounds. But,
yeah.
You know.
It's that's not even close.
Dear boy.
Monkberry Moon Delight.
Yeah, Dear Boy, the harmony arrangement in that is as good as anything the Beach Boys did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fabulous. It's fabulous. But yeah.
God only knows. The only song I could say that maybe rivals it is because it's how great God Only Knows, and Paul loves that song. So maybe I could take a twinge of a step back and say, okay, maybe God Only Knows I'll say God Only Knows is as good as any song on Ram because the man himself says that that's the best song that's ever written. So I could kind of vibe with God Only Knows, but the rest of the album, Ram all the way. Yeah,
it's really difficult to justify what is a better song because there's so many ingredients that go into why something is somebody's favorite. You know, it might mean something to them personally. They might really like the melody, or they might really like the lyrics, or you know, there could be 100 different reasons why I really love the bass. That's my favorite song because the bass playing is amazing. There's so many different reasons that people will choose a track as their favorite, and it's really difficult to sort of justify this is better than that because, you know, the only person that can justify it is the listener. And
that's it.
You know, Lee, if you think that Wouldn't It Be Nice and God Only Knows and Sloop John B are better than anything on Ram, then they are. That's it. That's it. That's your choice, and no one can argue with it.
Of course,
really.
That's it's your own opinion.
Yeah.
And if that's how he feels, then great.
Yeah. Right. Let's move on. Charles says, right, that's right, Tone. A free program. When I left the show, people left their programs on the seats. I picked up 6. James wants to know: can you actually get the clap from one hand?
Okay.
Nice.
Oh, funny.
Okay. Right. I would say probably yes, actually. Thinking about it. Right. Okay. The Astro World says some copies of the Hey Jude album were pressed
in the
UK for export. Okay.
Wow.
Okay. Didn't know that. Yeah, I think the one that I got was an import. I'm not sure.
I just love how UK albums are pressed. I mean, their covers are better. The label looks better. They all have a nice slick look to them all. The ones in America with the, you guys do it right over there back in the day. The UK pressings, they're slick. It was the way it was. It looked better. The label looked better. It was just they're night and day.
Yeah, really. Is that different, right?
It is, yeah. Because in America back in the '60s, it was just like cardboard stock. Yeah, it was not really. It was not. And it was like a matte finish. It was like, and yours are more glossier.
Yeah.
It
is, yeah.
It was.
Okay. Right, this is a good question. Terry says, has anyone heard any more about the 4 Sam Mendes Beatles movies? Well, I think we know that the actors that are to play the 4 Beatles have been named. Now I'm gonna throw this out there, and I know that everyone won't feel the same, but I have got very little interest in this because I just don't like biopics. People playing pop stars because films never have enough time to tell the story properly. So I will see them when they come out, but it won't blow me away, and I probably won't hate it either. But things like Bohemian Rhapsody and Rocket Man and stuff like that. I can just take them or leave them. I'm not that fussed about biopics, even if it's even if it's an artist that I really like. In fact, if it is an artist that I really like, I'm probably going to be even more critical about the film. What do you think, Andy?
I agree with you. I enjoy them, but I don't go back to them. Like, I've seen them, you watch them once or twice, and then I don't go back to them. Yesterday, Backbeat, I think, was the best of the bunch, for sure. John and Yoko, A Love Story. They're okay, but I don't go back to them watching them. Oh, but this was such a great performance. Nowhere Boy, I thought was a good one, although a lot of people had some issues with that because it was shot in Liverpool. I thought that was a pretty decent one.
Yeah, that was okay. Yeah,
it was okay, but I won't. I'm not. I enjoy them, but I'm not like, I'm not gonna go. Yeah. I'm like you, Tone. I'm not gonna go running down just to see them all. The fact that they're making 4 films, I think, is pretty interesting, and not just one.
And are they all coming out simultaneously, or are they going to be one after the other?
I think they're gonna be staggered.
Yeah. Okay.
I think they're gonna be staggered. Yeah.
Okay, right. Okay, well, John's got a question. John says, do you think Glyn John's mix of Get Back, Let It Be album was that bad, and Phil Spector did a better job in the end? Only one mistake left off Don't Let Me Down. I think that Phil Spector's version is better. I think that but Phil Spector also made mistakes, with choirs, and mostly with choirs. I'm okay with the strings, and even now when when Paul plays, Paul was very pissed off about Long and Winding Road. I think mainly from the choir, but initially he was also not happy that there was an orchestra on it. But now when he plays it live, he has Wicks play the strings on his
part
on his keyboard. Yeah, so he's obviously mellow to that. But the Glyn Johns mix was just so loose. It was just so, I know that was kind of what they were after, but I think that was more loose than they wanted. I think there was too much, too many mistakes.
Although I think the version of 2 of us on the Glyn Johns mix is better than the 2 of us on Let It Be. I've enjoyed that. I
can't remember it now.
It's a little bit slower. It's I don't know. I've enjoyed listening to the Glyn Johns mix on vinyl on the Let It Be Super Deluxe. I still think the Phil Spector one is probably better because it's just a little bit tighter. But the Glyn, I've enjoyed the Glyn Johns one quite a bit.
Yeah. Out of all of them, I prefer Giles Martin's mix to.
Oh yeah,
out of the 3, that would be my go-to for Let It Be. But I do like the Glyn Johns mix. But when I heard it, and I had it on a bootleg CD, not although the one that was on the box set was a hybrid, wasn't it, between the 69 and the 1970 mix? But I've got the 1970 mix on a bootleg CD, and I've had it for years, but I hadn't played it for years, so I'd kind of forgotten about it. And when I heard the deluxe box set, I just thought, well, I can absolutely see why they rejected this mix,
Right, and then they go and put, they get Phil Spector to come in and do exactly what they didn't want to do from the beginning.
Yeah, yeah. He didn't get the memo, did he?
No.
Rory says, "Do you think Paul will add more UK dates?" I don't know. I did. Normally when he announces dates or a venue, a country or whatever, he has been known to, if they sell out really quickly, he has been known to add another date. I think it's tricky because the dates that he's doing in the UK, the Manchester and London dates, are that last week before Christmas week. So I'm
And
not sure where.
the shows at the O2 in London are really close to Christmas. What is
Yeah,
it?
they're the
18th and
18th
19th.
19th. Yeah. So, you know, it's really difficult to say. I would like to say yeah, he would add more, but I'm not sure where he would fit them in. He could do the 20th. I think that's the Friday. I think that's the
maybe he'll do the 20th.
Yeah, maybe.
You know, but it's I'm happy that the UK is getting a chance for some dates. It's been
Yeah,
a while, and it's long overdue. It's long overdue.
It is. He hasn't been here since 2018.
I mean, and you're getting 4 dates. You know, you wish it was more, but I think it's great that you know finally he's coming home in December for the hometown audience. I think it's awesome. I think the 20th is a Friday, Tony. If there's any chance of a date added, there's your one, or even the Saturday. Who knows?
Yeah. Martin says, "I'm the Walrus now belongs on an album like Love because it's not the Beatles, it's something else." Totally disagree.
Disagree.
Sorry, Martin. Station Minute says the covers on Beatles for Sale are kind of weak. Yeah. Although John's opening vocal on Mr. Moonlight is the best. Yeah, it's fantastic. It is fantastic. And then it comes in with that organ that always reminds me of Monty Python.
Yes.
With the naked piano player on the stage.
Oh my God. You know.
Yeah.
And that often gets voted as the worst Beatles song or one of the worst Beatles songs of all time.
Yeah. But I have to agree. John's
the opening
on it is outstanding.
It is.
But yeah, it's a terrible song. Richard, I'm gutted that I'll Get You was not on the Red album. Yeah, I mean, of course, you know, with compilation albums, especially when you get a compilation album that's been extended, you know, if you was to ask 10 people, you know, which tracks would you like the Red album to be extended with, you know, 10 people would come up probably with 10 different lists, you know, of songs. So, you know, you're always going to be, you know, I can remember the comments when the Red and Blue album, you know, why isn't this on it? Why isn't that on it? You know, there's only so much you
can do.
You can put on it, and you're never going to help. You know, you're never going to please everyone. You're never going to please anyone.
Tony, I'll be right back. I'm just grabbing a drink.
Okay, mate. Yeah, okay. Right, Martin, what are you saying? Paul's best interview, Q86. You talking about Q magazine? I'm not sure. Tell me what you mean. Are you asking me what his best interview is, or are you saying that his best interview is in Q issue number 86? I'm not sure what you mean. Dino says Peter Jackson brought a book off me last year, and I posted it to New Zealand. I'm not telling you the title of it, but it focuses on teenage Lennon. Did he buy it for research? Me wonders. Let's just say yes. Should we just say yes?
Say yes.
Yeah, we'll say yes. Right. Graham, did you say you've managed to get tickets to the concert? May I be nosy on the price? Right. Yes, I did. So I got tickets. They're not very good. They're not very good tickets. And I paid £125 for the tickets, and they're quite near the back at the O2, which is a huge arena. It holds about 15 or 16,000, and it's on the side, but it's the lower tier. So those are the tickets that we managed to get in the pre-sale. But I have since then been able to get, thanks to one of my subscribers, Boyan Archer from Australia.
Awesome.
He has sorted me out some VIP tickets for the same night. So I probably won't be sitting in those seats. It's fair to say, which is absolutely fantastic. So anyway, that's what I paid, £125, which I thought was all right. I thought it was all right. They're not the best. They're not the best seats.
You're there.
I'm in the room.
You're in the building. Yeah,
I'm in the building. So yeah. Candleli's Candle says Paul's Chaos album was the best thing he's done in ages. He worked with a producer that really pushed him. Yeah, Nigel Godrich. Yes, that is exactly what happened. And yeah, it is a great album. I think I can't remember where I put it in my ranking, but I think it was number 3 or number 4. I think in my ranking. Patrick's here from Sweden. Hi, mate.
There's
Hello.
Patrick.
Comments keep coming, don't they? Asphalt World says, Memory Almost Full is the last McCartney album that's truly had staying power for me. I agree. Only Mama Knows, Ever Present Past, End of the End, superb. House of Wax. I love the medley. The medley.
Yeah, medley.
I forget what's called now. The tracks. One of them is
Feet in the Clouds.
That was me.
Feet in the Clouds.
And Vintage Clothes. Vintage
Yeah.
Clothes. Yeah, it's great. And I remember when that album came out, when Paul was doing the publicity for it.
Yeah.
He said, it's the first time I've done a medley since Abbey Road. He totally forgot about Red Rose Speedway.
Yeah. That's always a bugger, yeah. A bugger of me because I love the medley on Red Rose. Yeah. And he always forgets that he did it.
Yeah. Memory Almost Full is a really strong album. He did 2 really great albums back to back, Chaos and Memory. Great albums. There's more on it that I could never remember. I can never remember the names of tracks anymore. I'm getting too old. Track 3
on what album? On Memory
Almost Full. One about
See Your Sunshine.
Yes. That's the Wingsy one, isn't it? I think it's sort of got a Wingsy feel to it.
Yeah, See Your Sunshine.
Yeah, See Your Sunshine. Yeah.
Fourth one's Only Mama Knows.
Yeah. No, it's a great album. It's a good album. Very good album. Slightly below Chaos, but only just, I think.
Yes, I would agree. I would agree with
that. Duncan said, I would like an album of Beatles demos of the songs other people had hits with, like Bad to Me. Yeah, I've got an album like that. It's called The Songs That Lennon and McCartney Gave Away.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've had it since, I think maybe the early 80s. And it's got Bad to Me on it, and
it's not
From a Window and all those, Peter
right. But those are the songs by the other artists.
They're the songs by the other artists. Yeah. Oh, but Duncan is saying Beatles demos,
right?
Like Duncan.
Have you heard the demo of John doing like Bad to Me? It's not a great recording, but have you ever heard that?
I don't think I have. No.
Yeah, it's out there. It's out there. It's good. It's good. That he gave to Billy J.
Armin says, I will drop out. Time for bed. Thanks a lot, Tony, for hosting stream. You're welcome, Armin. Speak to you soon. Armin's in Munich. Right, okay. Terry says, what I'd like to see is a Blu-ray release of PJ's cleaned up copy of Let It Be. So of Let It Be. Okay, yeah. So I think that will happen. I think that'll happen
eventually.
Yeah. I think the contract with Disney for Get Back was about 3 months before the Blu-ray came out. But the Blu-ray there was actually problems when
there was a delay.
It came out late, but I think it was allowed to come out after 3 months, and I imagine it'll be probably something similar for Let It Be as well. I think we'll see that. Nick says McCartney 3 is a great album. There are better songs on other albums, but judged in the whole and listen the way it's a really great experience. Higher than number 16 should be as I have so many versions of it. Well, look, it's you know what I say, Nick. It's my number 16. Right. If it's your number 9 or whatever, then it's number 9. It's number 9. It's absolutely up to you. And your opinion is your opinion, my opinion is mine, and there's no right or wrong answers, right?
Nope.
No.
You just don't. If you don't agree, you don't agree.
Yeah. What have we got here? Loser List 69. The Lord Reed version is the best version of the Stowe School tape. Okay.
Yeah, he does a lot of stuff, Lord Reith.
Trevor says CDs are best price. Yeah, well they are. I mean, they're so cheap now. They are so cheap.
Mm-hmm.
And with CD, I bought a load of CDs secondhand because you can, because they don't really deteriorate. They're not like records, that you've got to be careful, what you buy, because it might have a scratch on it or it might be marked. I mean, 9 times out of 10, you can buy a CD secondhand and it'll play exactly like it was brand new, and you can pick them up on various sites for like £2.
They're so cheap.
I bought a load for £2.
So cheap. What you have to watch out for though is that you actually have a player that can still function and play them.
Yeah. Well, I've still got a CD player.
Do you have a modern? Do you have like a newer CD player? Or do you have one that's like you've had for 20 years?
I've got a name CD player. I think I've had it about maybe 18 months, 2 years, something like that.
Because where do you buy CD players anymore? They make the CDs, but where can you buy them still?
No, hi-fi stores sell them.
Because I haven't had to need one for years. I still have like a 5-disc changer and everything.
I don't know about that. Mine's just got one
slot,
one slot, and it's not even one that comes out. So name is fairly high end. It's a British make, and it's got like a drawer, and you open the drawer like that. You put your CD in, and you get a little magnetic puck to put on top of the CD that holds it in place.
Holds it in place. Gotcha.
And then you manually push the drawer shut. And the idea behind that is, one of the things that goes wrong with CD players is the open and close function stops working.
Right.
So if you're doing it manually, it's not mechanical, so it lasts longer.
That's cool.
Yeah, it is cool.
What's the name of the brand?
They're called Name, Naim. They're a British make. They're British make.
Look into that. Yeah, if your open and close thing ever goes, then you're done.
Yeah, and it's brilliant. I mean, a CD player, is as good as the DAC that's inside it, really.
Right.
Yeah, and it's a good one. This one. It will be the last CD player I ever buy, though. To be fair,
I'll see if I ever upgrade it. How will they ship to the States?
Yeah. Oh, I would thought so. There's a Name Facebook group, and there's people from all over the world on that.
Okay.
So they must do, yeah.
Oh, you're not kidding, man. These things are expensive.
Yeah, it is expensive.
Oh my God! I just looked it up.
It was barely high end.
I just looked it up. Jesus Christ!
How much is it then?
Well, I see one's here £2,000.
Bloody hell! That's more than I paid for it. I paid about one for mine.
£100.
No, 1,000.
Oh, 1,000. Oh yeah. That's what I thought. Yeah, I see 1,000 on here.
Yeah.
700. Oh.
Yeah, I think it was retailing at about 1,400, but I always get a decent discount at my hi-fi shop because I've spent so much money there over the years.
Bet.
Yeah,
I bet.
I do like a hi-fi upgrade.
No, of course.
Yeah, right. Station says the price is quite reasonable if you're willing to buy it on CD. I'm not sure what we're talking about. I'm so far behind with the comments that I've lost the thread. Sorry.
That's my fault for hopping on here. Sorry.
Right. Kevin says these latest Macca releases look like they're part of the inside of a bigger box set, maybe a 50th Band on the Run deluxe that he didn't have the nerve to release. Yeah, I see what you're saying. They're kind of the Band on the Run era.
Yeah, that's a good way to kind of surmise these two releases. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I have to admit, I mean, obviously, underdubbed, you kind of think as being Band on the Run, but I didn't really think of One Hand Clapping as being part of the Band on the Run thing. I know there was a lot of tracks on it from Band on the Run.
Well, maybe not part of it, but it's like the immediate, like post success, still kind of enjoying Band on the Run. It's still climbing the charts, it's still doing well. So it kind of is the same era. We don't view it that way, but it kind of is.
Yeah.
Probably in Paul's mind. It's why, February was the underdubbed, and then June we got this. So it's a nice way to kind of put a bow tie on the anniversary of the whole thing.
Yeah. Okay, what's James got to say? I'd really love to see a big release of the India and White album footage, the 94.5 reunion footage, and whatever Get Back 2 was supposed to be. Yeah, the reunion footage, I think, is all on YouTube. I think you can pretty much see
all the stuff at
all of
George's
that.
house.
Yeah, I think so. India, there is a DVD about I think it's called The Beatles in India.
Yes.
That covers that White album. That sort of February 1968 trip that they did. I haven't seen it, to be honest, but
no, but it's out there.
It's probably because it wasn't video really back then. It was probably all filmed on cine camera.
Yeah,
and it's probably got a voiceover commentary or something like that. I don't know. Stations. I saw Pete Best angling for an opening slot on Paul's UK tour. Not likely. I can't see that. I can't see that.
Good for him for trying. I mean,
yeah.
60 years.
I'm not sure whether Paul would be taken in by the novelty value of that. I mean, he probably doesn't know how good or how bad Pete Best's band is. I don't know. I mean, they gig, but they don't have a record deal, do they?
I don't believe so. It would be a nice thing for Paul to think about doing it. I mean, what the hell,
Yeah. Yeah, enough water under the bridge for.
Yeah, just do it. You guys are both in their 80s.
I think the fans would love it. Actually, I think fans at the gig,
sure they would
love it.
Listen, guy. The guys they're in their 80s. All right, fellas, what's done is done. This is what it was back in the day. I'm doing my thing. This is his thing. Have a pint and do your shows, and that's it.
Yeah, but the fact about him asking to open for Paul, is that just a thinly disguised thing for him saying, "Can I come up and play Love Me Do with you?" With the band?
Could be.
Could be.
That would never happen.
No,
that we know would never happen.
No. Right, James says, I would like to hear Carnival of Light, just so I can say I've heard it. But the people who have heard it, McCartney has played it to people over the time, say it isn't worth the wait. Hype. Well, that's what I think that everyone wants to hear Carnival of Light until they've heard probably about 2 minutes of it. I don't know. From what I've heard, it's very difficult because, like you say, not many people have heard it. There are things on YouTube that are proposing to be Carnival of Light that probably aren't.
Right.
Because as far as I know, Paul's the only one who's got the tape of it. I don't know.
And if it was good, it would have been out. And obviously,
you can be sure of that. Yeah.
You don't think he would have put this out as like a lost Beatles song? Like instead of Frankensteining now and then. Come on. If Carnival of Light was good, it would have been out.
Yeah. It would. I agree. Right. And Andy should go to Coronation Street while in Manchester to get the taste of pre-Monkey Davy Jones. You're aware of Coronation, of course you are.
Of course.
You lived here for years, yeah. Of course you are. You know what? There is, for anyone that watches Coronation Street, there is a Coronation Street Beatles link that I never knew existed until maybe about 2 months ago. And I was going to do a video on it, and I thought, no, I've got a lot of my viewers are overseas. They won't really understand, they won't know about Coronation Street and what's that. But if you do know Coronation Street and you know the character Tracy Barlow, the latest Tracy Barlow, she appears in the Free as a Bird video. And I never knew that until a few months ago. I was watching the video. I went, it's Tracy Barlow.
She's the one walking down the street, right?
Yeah,
at the end of the video. The one the portraying the she's leaving home. Lyric.
Yeah. She's her name's Kate Ford. That's her real name. And she's I never knew that was there. That she was in it. It absolutely blew my mind. Right, okay. Station Minutes says each station will be better as a single LP for sure. There's probably not a double LP ever released that wouldn't be better as a single LP. You know, there's not that many double LPs that are absolutely flawless. But we love them because they're so, you know, because there is
Right.
so much on them. You know, there's been some fantastic double albums, Tommy, Quadrophenia, you know,
Blonde on
Main
blonde,
Street,
blonde on blonde.
yeah, some amazing double albums, and but the trouble is, I think everyone would disagree about the best one. Yeah, well, I you know, probably, but it would be exactly the same as the White Album. You know, choosing you know, your best, your single album, White Album, 15 songs from 30 or something like that, which I did do as a video just for a bit of fun.
I remember that one.
And you know, I said when I did that video, I said, you know, everyone would come up with a different 15. No one's 15 would be the same probably. And that's how it is. But yeah, double albums were, you know, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. That's a fantastic double album. You know, the 70s was the kind of era for double albums.
It was.
We've now got from the CD era, when they started putting so much music on CDs, that now they're being transferred into vinyl. We've got loads of new double albums, that weren't double CDs, but they have to be double albums if you want them on vinyl.
Right. Exactly like Egypt Station.
Yeah, like Egypt Station, like Driving Rain as well. Dino says, Tone, did you used to wear a bog brown coat around the time of meeting Yoko? As I was at the Dorchester and met McGann and the Japanese lady who signed my program. No, well, a brown coat. I don't know. I used to have a brown leather jacket, but I don't know if I had it in the 80s. In fact, I pretty much know that I probably wouldn't have been able to afford one in the 80s. So I don't know. But I never hung out at the Dorchester to see her. I know she always used to stay there when she comes to London. But it must have been about that same time, I would have thought. Yeah, because McGann and his then fiance probably went and met her either before the gig or after the gig or whatever.
The Dorchester, that was the site of the big meeting, the big blow up. You know about that, right?
Which one?
The one when they found out that Paul was making a little bit more.
Oh yeah.
The McCartney override and all that.
Yeah. Because he re-signed. Yeah. Richard, it's definitely not fair, mate, to be not to be able to hear Carnival Light. I think as fans we should hear it. Yeah, I just think I don't know. I mean, from what I've heard about it, you know, I just think that everyone wants to hear it until the moment they hear it,
and they're gonna go, this sucks.
And then, you know, from what I've heard, it's like, you know, it's Revolution 9, but not as interesting. You know, something like that.
Yeah. No.
Right. Where are we? Graham. Oh, we're going to find out what Graham said to Paul at the Electric Gates. So little did we know, at the time after, when Paul came through his Electric Gates, months later, he had an accident and chipped his teeth and cut his lip. You can see it on the Paperback Writer Rain video. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. What's Trevor got to say? Same band on John's LP that Yoko had used, but I don't think she was around.
Well, this was what we were talking about.
Yeah.
We
will find out. Because obviously this you know, it's probably not going to tell us in the book that comes with the Mind Games album, but in the these books that have come out, these Thames and Hudson books,
yes.
the standalone books
that
have come out. One's come out for Imagine, one for Plastic Ono Band. There's one coming out for Mind Games as well, and I think that concentrates it does concentrate on the album, but it's much more than the album.
It's much more contextualized.
Yes,
you're getting much more history there in those books.
It puts you back in the in what was going on in their life apart from the music. Right. Charlie says, I got to meet May Pang earlier this year at an exhibition of her photos during the 18 months they were together. Right. Okay. Nice. I'm not sure how I feel about May Pang,
Yeah.
I read her book in the 80s, Loving John.
Loving John, yeah.
And it's a real sort of kiss and tell type book. And, she didn't write it until after he died. And I don't know. I think that she... I think she's keen to make herself a bigger part of the story than maybe she actually was.
Maybe there's a lot of people that are pro May here too to talk about this period. I mean, she has the documentary that just came out.
I haven't seen it yet because we didn't get it you got it as a theatre release in the States.
Theatre release. Yeah.
We didn't, but it's now. I think it's on Amazon Prime now, and you can rent it, so I am going to watch it. I just haven't got round to it yet.
Right.
Okay. Dino says, at the time I'm beginning to think I remember you from the period 84 to 87 in London at Beatles events like the premiere of Water, and used to eat KFC box. What? If so, hello. If not, apologies. I accept your apologies.
Okay.
I didn't go to the premiere of Water, but I did go to the premiere of Rock Show.
Okay.
At the Dominion Theatre in Tottenham Court Road, but I don't remember eating KFC up a box. Of course, back then in 1981 or whenever it was when it came out, it wouldn't have been called KFC, would it? It would be called Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Yes,
it was back in the day.
Right, not abbreviated.
Back in the day. Right. Rick M says, May Pang's art show is coming to 2 towns near me next week. I'll be going. I think there are more May Pang haters than Yoko haters. Okay.
Really? Wow.
I'm surprised at that as well. I went to see Yoko's. Yoko's got an exhibition on at the moment at the Tate Modern, and it is really good. Really good. All the all the famous pieces are there.
I saw you talking about this in one of your videos. Yeah.
Yeah. The ladder,
the spyglass,
the ladder with the spyglass on the top, and with the yes, and
there's the apple for the 200-pound there.
Yeah, yes, I think so. And you could do the hammer the nail thing, and all that sort of stuff. The half, I think I can't. Is it called half a room where all the things were in the room are all
chairs,
chairs, and tables, and the bed is all cut in half. It's really good, and they've got all the films that they made together. Like Bottoms and Fly and all that are there, and there are like listening stations where you can put on some headphones and listen to our albums or whatever you want to do. But it's really it only takes about an hour and a half to get around it, but it was really good. It's really good. Right, okay, where are we? Patrick is voting for Extra Leg as a new name. Trevor says, great show watching UK on the phone. 23:59. That was ages ago. Trev. But glad you're enjoying it, Trev. Nick says, Andy, be sure to see the Epstein statue and the new improved Strawberry Fields.
Will do.
Daniel says, are McCartney programs worth buying? What are your thoughts? I think that the look of the Got Back tour book, like the thickness of it, I would say it probably is worth buying. As a souvenir. It sounds like it's really expensive, but there was a time where I stopped buying programs when they kind of just were just books of of pictures, and they were charging sort of 25 quid.
Mm.
I did stop. I went to the gigs, but I didn't buy the programs because I just didn't think they were worth it. But I will be buying a program from this tour, mainly because I haven't bought a program for a long time.
Did you get would they make one for the Glastonbury one or no?
No, I don't think
so. You don't
so.
have a Got Back tour program?
No. Yeah, no, I don't think.
Yeah, you wouldn't, because the tour hasn't come to the UK.
No. So because this is now the fourth leg, isn't it, of the Got Back tour?
Yeah, it started in the spring of 2022. So.
Yes. So we had the States, then we had Australia, Mexico, and Brazil, and then now we've got Uruguay, Argentina, and Chile, and now
then you go. So you're really the fifth.
Yeah. So yeah. What's the best Lennon compilation? Good question. I would probably say, "Give Me Some Truth," the latest one, the 2020.
The 20, yeah.
If you don't mind, there's a couple of tracks on there where the remixes are not that great. Things like Steel and Glass, but if you want an overall view, because "Give Me Some Truth" has got all the hits on it. Plus, it's got key album tracks on it as well. I think there's various iterations of it, but I think there's a two.
Yeah, if you're going for a modern compilation, I would say the 2020 "Give Me Some Truth," because it has the modern remix approach on it. Angel Baby on that was tremendous. I remember liking that. Going back in the day, I remember the 4 CD Lennon box set. That was a great box set. I mean, it was a little more comprehensive, but Working Class Hero was a good 2 CD one. Because it kind of gave you a little bit more than the hits.
Yeah.
What was it? Lennon Legend, and then there was the "Give Me Some Truth" one from 2010.
Yeah, the first. There's two "Give Me Some Truth" ones.
Two "Give Me Some Truth." So I'd say I agree with you. The 2021 is probably the way to go.
I think that's probably the best one if you want a large overview of singles and album tracks. That's what I would probably say. The first one I ever got was Shaved Fish. That was the first.
The only compilation issued in his lifetime.
Yeah. Terry said Shaved Fish for me. Yeah. One of the first albums I bought. Yeah, me too. I bought mine off a bloke from school, so I had it secondhand. Patrick is saying, "Give Me Some Truth" as well. Graham saying the best Beatles play I've seen was called John, Paul, George, Ringo, and Bert. Yes, Bernard Hill,
who recently passed away.
Yes, who played Yossa Hughes in Boys from the Black Stuff. Played John. Trevor Reed played Paul, and Barbara Dixon sang the songs. Yeah, I do. I have heard of that. I never got to see it. I think it was before my sort of Beatle fandom days. It's David Watts. Wish I could be like David Watts. Like the Two Legs Show talking about the McCartney Legacy book. What a whopper. Can't wait for volume 2. Yes, wasn't it brilliant? Wasn't it a brilliant show? Really good show.
Thank you. Even though we had issues with Adrian with connectivity, but we were able to make it a good episode, and he was just brilliant on that.
Yeah, he was really good. Right. What's this one? Lee saying comparing Ram and Pet Sound is like comparing Love and Mercy to Sgt. Pepper. Okay. Okay. Fair enough. Charlie Welch says maybe Sean will release a book with a key to all closed. I bet he doesn't.
No.
Dino says, Andy, I'm all up for what you suggested earlier, but tell me, both of you, what 3 songs do you want Paul to perform this year that he's never done live before?
Go ahead, Tone. You're on the spot.
Oh God, it's funny you should say that, because someone asked me to do a video of to make up a fictional set list of all made up of songs that Paul's never done live, like my best never done live playlist. So
Okay.
it's complete fantasy stuff. But I don't know. Now what hasn't he done live? Let's think about that. So there's I don't know what we never got a tour for Chaos and Creation. He went to America and did some gigs after that came out, I think in 2005.
Yeah.
But we never got any shows for that. So I don't know what songs he did on that tour without looking it up from Chaos, but there must be a few on
Fine
there.
Line. I think he played Fine Line. He played English Tea. And maybe Friends to Go. I'm trying to remember now. Definitely Fine Line and English Tea.
Okay.
And Follow Me, I think, was in the set for a little while.
Okay.
For a little while too.
Okay. So I'll take Anyway as one of the songs.
Okay.
I'll what else? Let's think about this. Warm and Beautiful.
Okay.
I'd like to do that. And has he ever done? Well, no, I know what it is, but I know that he wouldn't do it. But Backseat of My Car.
Yeah, I would. Of course, we would all throw that in there, but he would never do it.
No.
Yeah, I'd say Backseat of My Car. With a little luck, which was of course rehearsed but not played. With a little luck, I'd say, and then I'd go probably Daytime, Nighttime Suffering.
Oh, that would be great, wouldn't it? That would be great. Good one. Right. Okay. Graham says, I've got Russian pressing of the Hey Jude album. Different tracks. Back cover is the same, but the front cover was taken on the Mad Day Out outside St Pancras Church. Okay. Yeah, Don't Let Me Down is one of John's best. I agree. It's
definitely.
It's such a lovely song. Great song. Terry says, I'm going to have to call it a night. It's been a long day, work and all that. Thanks, Tone. This live stream has been a blast, and good night. God bless to everyone. Have a great weekend, everyone. You as well, Terry. Thanks for coming on. You've probably already gone. You probably wrote that. How far behind are we? Oh, quite a way. Not that far, actually. Not that far. That was at 12:17, and it's now almost 1 o'clock. Okay. We're not doing very well. Right. Charlie Welsh says Dick Clark produced the Beatles story. It was terrible, in my opinion. They used cliches and took too much used way too much literary license. Is that the Beatles story, the album you're talking about, the US album?
Yes.
Is that? Oh yeah, I have got that as well.
That's one of those cases. That's one of those cases where the album artwork is better than the contents. What's on the record?
Yeah.
That is not a good release. That's just nice to have because it's a nice cover and you see the British flag and it's an American album, but that's about it. That is hokey as it comes. My God, you know. Totally agree with you, Charlie.
Okay, Lee is still banging on about Ram. I love Ram, but guys, the influence of Pet Sounds was immeasurable. It changed the music business. It set a new benchmark for freeform poetic melody in songwriting.
I don't disagree with that statement.
No, but it's, this is what I'm saying, that there's no right or wrong answers. If you like Pet Sounds better than Ram, then that's perfectly okay.
Yeah.
But you're not going to convince someone that likes Ram better than Pet Sounds that they're wrong.
I get the historical importance of Pet Sounds. Believe me, I love the Beach Boys. I love that album. I went on a Beach Boys rabbit hole years ago, and I don't think I listened to anything but the Beach Boys for like 2 or 3 years. I get it. But when we're talking about Paul McCartney and Ram, that's where the fandom kicks in. I mean, I understand its importance. I understand, and I think it's great. I'm not disagreeing with anything you're saying here, but it just is Ram. I like Ram better because I'm a McCartney guy and we're Beatles people. That's all Tone is saying.
Yeah, I mean, I like Pet Sounds, but I don't think it's. I don't love it. I don't love it. I like Surfs Up as an album more than I like that.
Yeah, I mean, I like Sunflower better
Yeah.
than I like Sunflower and Surfs Up better than Pet Sounds, but I understand what he's saying.
Yeah.
I just, as a fan, as McCartney and Beatles people, we like Ram better, and that's all.
Yeah. Okay, but you know, if you like Pet Sounds better, then that is your prerogative.
Totally.
And that's absolutely right. Absolutely right. Dino is here again. Paul concert date. Sorry to say, but I communicate with one of Paul's main people and was told this week there will be no more UK or European dates. Okay.
I hope this info is wrong. Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Oh, that's a shame. That is a shame. I just had this feeling that he was going to add Liverpool at least.
At
I'm
least.
surprised he's not doing anywhere else in Europe.
No,
I mean, I'm sure he will. I think he'll come back to it next year, maybe.
I can't believe that the last time he played Manchester was in 2011.
Yeah, that's a long time ago, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right. Tim says, very annoyed that Paul left 4 tracks off one hand and then made an extra thingy of the 7-inch single. Yeah, okay. But you know, we don't know that it's that is Paul's decision. You know,
we don't.
You know, I'm not sure. Could be a marketing decision.
Yeah,
I don't know. Matthew says, when in your opinion do you think we might hear Peter Jackson's remixed versions of Free as a Bird and Real Love? Is he doing them then? Is that an official? I didn't even know that he was doing a remix.
No, that's all conjecture at this stage.
Okay.
I mean, it's logical to think that he will be the one that does it, obviously given his work on Now and Then, and he'll if and when they do it, he'll be the one to do it, but nothing is confirmed.
Okay. Trevor says Paul needs a producer. I think he works better with a producer.
He has done this.
He's a good producer himself, I think.
He is, but he's done this with his albums for decades, where he uses 3 or 4 producers, for a couple of tracks, like he did on Flowers in the Dirt.
Yeah.
Like he did with New.
Yeah.
He's done it. He's done it. He's had multiple producers on albums, so I think it's good. Obviously, the Hugh Padgham thing didn't work out with Press to Play, but it did with Nigel Godrich. I think he does. I think it's good. I think it's good to have a healthy back and forth balance, and to challenge you. If you want to be an artist, and it's good to have somebody to sound a sounding board off of, and not somebody just being a yes man all the time.
Okay, Patricia's here from a Little Beatles corner. Now, Patricia has just become a YouTuber. Patricia is a first-generation Beatles fan, and she's got a great little channel that she's just started, and she tells stories about being a first-generation Beatles fan, and and shows stuff in her collection. I would recommend. If you're into that sort of thing, hopping over to her channel and giving her a sub, because I think you'll enjoy it. And it's always great to get, the views of, first generation, people that were there at the time. We're second, third generation, Beatles fans, and
Where's Patricia from?
She's she's from the States. I'm not
okay.
I can't remember which state. Sorry, Patricia, I've forgotten which state you are from.
Well,
but she might answer.
Welcome aboard.
She's still here, but yeah, she's got a great little channel. Okay, Graham says, I play my CDs through a Blu-ray DVD player. The sound is brilliant, coming out of five surround sound speakers, the best sound. Now, I love 5.1 surround sound for TV. for watching TV. I'm not convinced of it for listening to music. I don't know what you think, Andy, but I kind of like. I'm just like old school. I'm
You
just
want
like
it up front. You want it in 2 speakers up front.
Yeah,
I got to tell you, I have spent oodles of money on all these sets to have the 5.1 Blu-ray stuff, and I've barely even touched most of it.
Yeah.
And namely because I don't have a 5.1 setup in my home to do it. I could do it. I could rig it. I just I agree with you. I agree. You it must sound amazing, but I like having it. If it sounds clear and good, and it's coming through a good hi-fi, and you've got good speakers, that's all you need. For me, that's just is how I am. I think, Tony, you're the same way. One day I might have that set up, and I've heard it. I've been to rooms, and I've heard people's houses that have it set up, and it's incredible.
Yeah.
But there's nothing wrong with the old school way.
Yeah, I do have a 5.1 set up, and it work. It's brilliant for TV and watching movies and all that sort of thing. I'm just not convinced about when I'm listening to music that suddenly you get like an acoustic guitar strumming by your left ear or something,
and you're like, oh, where the hell that come from? Yeah.
I kind of like it, like the band are in front of you, and they're playing in front of you.
That's it.
Yeah, that's how I prefer. But I always listen to, although I haven't got Dolby Atmos, but I've got 5.1. So I do always listen to the 5.1 mix, and if there isn't a 5.1 mix, then the Dolby Atmos downgrades itself to 5.1. Right. So you hear it as 5.1 anyway. And I do always have a listen. I'm trying to convince myself that it's great. And I thought, everyone's got different ears and they hear things differently.
Totally.
And, again, sort of no right or wrong answers. So it says CDs on Blu-ray is great, plus TV screen. Right, okay. Okay, John says, are you familiar with the David Whelan book, Mind Games: The Assassination of John Lennon? If so, what do you think of it? I'm not. I haven't read it. I
haven't read it, but I know of it. And David Whelan did an appearance on Robert Rodriguez's podcast, something about the Beatles, talking about this, and it was pretty convincing a little bit. But then I think the book just kind of goes. It's a conspiracy theory book. It's a conspiracy theory book that basically says that Lennon was, purposely taken out.
Right, okay,
right.
Yeah.
And it's a conspiracy theory book. But I have to say that his appearance on Rodriguez's podcast was pretty convincing because he had actual knowledge and facts about certain things. Then you start to question it, and I'm like, wait a minute. Sometimes you think, people say whatever they want to say to convince themselves of the truth. So I'm not going to read it because I have no interest in reading. I don't know what you feel about that those kind of people, Tone.
No, it's not my sort of thing. But
yeah. But I did. I didn't. I'm not going to get the book, but I did hear an appearance on Rodriguez's podcast.
Tell us what you think about it, John.
If you're still here, yeah.
If you're still here, of all the danger for Pete Best concert cameo. Yeah.
Well, he wasn't even there in spite of all the danger.
No. Does the estates of Denny Lane and Jimmy McCulloch get to receive royalties for one hand clapping? I would have thought so. Yeah.
Yeah. I would think.
Yeah. I would have thought so. Yeah. Carol says Jeffrey Hughes, who voiced Paul in Yellow Submarine, was in Coronation Street. Yeah, we talked about it earlier. He was Eddie Yates in Coronation Street. Sorry, I'm a big Corrie fan.
No, it's good.
Right. Okay. John says, Tone, on the Mind Games album deluxe edition, what are the 3 best sounding remix songs? Someone asked this earlier, and I don't know. I don't want to make that commitment yet because I've only played it twice.
Yeah, you're still too new with it. Yeah.
But I thought Tight As just as soon as it started, that just really blew me away. It just sounds. I don't even know how to describe it. It just everything just sounds really up front with John's voice and the drums and you can hear the bass. Everything is so clear. You
gotta be jealous now, Tone. You gotta be jealous. I gotta wait for this thing. Oh. Yeah,
it's only 3 weeks though. It's only 3 weeks, but yeah, I was just really, really happy with the remix. I thought it was brilliant. And it's such an improvement. I think everyone will, you know,
This is the one.
reappraise
This is the one that the Lennon fans and Beatles. We've been waiting to hear this remix. We want to hear how you know.
yeah, yeah.
So you're a big Caro fan, but are you also a fan? Were you a fan of Crossroads?
A little bit, yeah. We used to watch it. We did used to watch it, and with Crossroads. Whenever there was like you know about Crossroads, you know, all the scenery falling down and all the acting was terrible. And but whenever there was a really dramatic ending to an episode, they would play the Wings version.
The Wings version,
yeah, because it you know, it gives it that extra drama. Because there's a version that I think is played by Tony Hatch.
Tony Hatch wrote the theme. Yes,
there's just a piano version, but then when there's a really dramatic ending, it's
Wings. That's it. Okay, we got it. Yeah. And he was married to Petulia Clark, wasn't he?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he married Petulia Clark.
Okay.
Yeah. Tony Hatch, Crossroads theme.
Right. Okay, so Trevor says Paul, I think that's supposed to be Angelis, I think it is.
Yeah.
Did one of the voices in Yellow Submarine. Now, Paul Angelis, he was in Boys from the Black Stuff, and he was also married to Gail Tilsley, not the actress who plays Gail Tilsley in Corrie.
Yeah.
Forget her name now. What's her name? I can't remember now. Helen Worth. That's it. Helen Worth. Right. And Angelis. Yeah, he's put it. Yeah, Angelis. Yeah. Yes. He was one of the voices. Yeah. Sorry, tuned in very late. That's okay. I'm not taking the register or anything. Okay. Good to see you both. Both of you. I managed to get tickets to see Paul in the O2 for the first night. That's the 18th on the pre-sale on Wednesday. The prices are now insane. Yeah, I've seen. If you don't mind saying how much you paid for your tickets and where they were, I'd be interested. I paid $125 for mine, and it's quite near the back of the auditorium, and they were going for $450 today.
Whoa!
Like in that block, and I paid $125 on the pre-sale. Right. Charles says, Tony, I heard the organ that Lennon played on We Can Work It Out belongs to Sharples from Coronation Street. I don't think that's true.
No.
I don't think Ina Sharples actually had an organ. Not one that she could play anyway. Right. Okay. Ralph says, is the Mind Games standalone book different from the book in the box set? Oh, yes, it is. Yeah.
It is different. It is going to be different. Okay.
You can pre-order it on Amazon at the moment. So this is the one for Plastic Ono Band. So it's, you know, it's a lot thicker than the book the book that comes, you know, with in the box set. And as we said earlier, it sort of it does concentrate on the album, but it also gives you extra information. You know, like it gives you like historical content about what was going on in John's life at that time and Yoko's life. So these books are brilliant. I think they're brilliant. And of course, Andy will have his on the 12th of July because it's part of the Cube. It's included in the Cube. So yeah, I think the rest of us have to wait till I think September's the release date now.
Right.
So it was June. I think it was originally June when I pre-ordered it, and then it went out. And then when we heard it was being part of the Cube, I kind of think we kind of knew why the release date was put back. I think.
Yep.
So it's obviously giving people that have bought the Cube, you know, they're getting that book first.
Yeah.
As a reward. Right. Kia says, will Paul release new material this year? I think so. What do you think, Andy?
I think he will.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think he will.
And Kia says, Tone, I agree. May Pang, she likes to build her part. Yeah, I think that she does. She is to John Lennon what Bobby Whitlock is to All Things Must Pass. I think there's a man that likes to build his part as well. If you've ever seen his videos, he wrote the whole album. He played on the whole album. He put the band together. He did everything. But his missus is encouraging him the whole time. You know.
Oh yeah, I remember when
you put the band together, Bobby.
When the crate came out, it was all he was all over YouTube with those videos.
Yeah,
all over.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. In my experience, Yoko feels to me to be more hated than May Pang, wildly overhated. In all honesty, I don't know. John tried to promote her, but her art was for a totally different audience, not her fault. Yeah, well, her art is different. I think that we can probably say that, if she hadn't been married to John Lennon, she wouldn't have
had an avenue for her art.
Yeah. Also,
as big as an avenue.
I mean, she wouldn't have had a record deal, would she?
No.
No. But that doesn't mean that some of her music hasn't got.
If it found an audience that people liked it, then great.
Yeah. But I think that what was it? I forgot. It's getting late. It's 1:15 now. I was gonna say, what was I gonna say? I was gonna say that that I always think that people seem to hate Yoko in defense of John, which is a complete contradiction, because if you don't understand Yoko, then you can't understand John. I think you can't support one and hate the other, because they go together basically, and that's it. What do you think, Andy?
I agree. It's this area I don't like to talk too much about, because it's you get vilified for whatever you say. But yeah, she filled a void. She filled a void that he needed in his life. Maternal instinct. It's what he needed. And I'm not the biggest fan of Yoko Ono's music. I like her stuff on Double Fantasy the best. The poppier stuff.
The side one stuff is great, I think.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
They're better than side two stuff. A couple of those early songs on like Fly and Approximately Infinite Universe, because if John was involved in playing with it, I can kind of enjoy it as a song. But I'm not going to listen to Yoko Ono albums for my. I'm just not going to do that. It's just not my cup of tea.
No.
But the occasional song, the poppy stuff, is probably her. I think is some of the. I can listen to.
Okay. Right. Okay. Where are we? Mount Hot 2 says, I agree. Don't Let Me Down is really underrated. Do you think if released as an A-side single on its own, it would have made #1 in the charts? Now, I don't know about that. I don't know if it's poppy enough. I like it. It's a bluesy song, isn't it? And I think it's definitely more than a B-side. It's definitely it was a B-side, but for me, it's it could easily have been an album track, and probably any album that it goes on, it probably makes the album better.
But I don't think it would have been a #1 single.
No, it's kind of not poppy enough. I don't think.
Not back then.
Yeah, because don't forget, to be a #1 single, in 1969, it's got to appeal to more than just Beatles fans. It's got to appeal to the whole general public.
Yeah, I mean, 1969, top 40, you still got bubblegum music still hitting, stuff like that. So I don't think it would have been #1. No.
Okay. Right, let's move on. Dino says, great show, Tone, and great to see one leg. Gotta go now, as I'm still in the waiting room for McCartney.
Dino. Wow.
Cheers, Dino. Speak to you soon, mate. Jason, still here from Sydney. I I've read the Whelan book.
Oh, this is about the book. Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was interesting, but ultimately unsatisfying. A bit of a slog to get through.
Okay, then I'm glad I didn't read it then.
Okay. The Ashfeld, well, Hugh Padnam's stories about working with Paul and Press to Play are quite scathing. Shame about that album. Only Other Remains and Press are gems, in my opinion. Even more for me, I really like, I like Stranglehold. I like Good Times Coming, Feel the Sun. I do like Talk More Talk as well, just because of its weirdness.
Yes.
And Footprints is fantastic. I'm going through the album mentally in order on my head.
I think the only Duff track on that album for me is Angry.
All right, the one that I've never liked. And Angry is one of my least favorites as well. But the one that I've never found a way to like is However Absurd. I've never been able to get into that song. But I really like Press to Play.
Yeah. Yeah.
It would make a great archive, wouldn't it?
It would. You could just see the color of like the box on your shelf, like the sepia tone archive, the cover of Paul and Linda with the 30s photo. You could just see it sitting on your shelf. Boom.
Yeah, and all those extras. All those unreleased songs.
I would think the Return to Pepperland would get thrown onto that.
Yeah, probably. And all the 12-inch the 12-inch remixes of the songs could be on it.
Yeah,
they've never been on CD, have they?
No, or Pretty Little Head or any of them.
Yeah, and they're all really great remixes as well.
They are fantastic remixes. Yeah, no, you'd finally get Yvonne's The One released on that, probably too, I would think.
Yeah, probably, yeah. Oh well, we can dream. We can dream.
You can.
Right. Graham, and he's right. Graham says Tony Hatch was married to Jackie Trent. Yes, I remember now.
Somebody told me that it was Petulia Clark, some idiot probably.
Oh, you paid $125 too. On the left-hand side. So if the left-hand side, as you're looking at the stage, that's the same as me. Not too far from the floor. Yeah, we've probably got seats next to each other. Except I'm going.
You're not going to be sitting in them now.
I'm not sitting in mine anymore.
You ain't sitting in them now.
But yeah. Anyway, right. Boyan, you're back. You're back. You had your little nap. Cannot believe you're still going. High stamina after your day out. Yeah, I know. And it was a funeral as well. I was stuck out in Kent, and the motorway that needed to get back home was closed. So we went the opposite way, away from where we were going. So we thought we'd get on it on the next junction, and that was closed as well. So we had to go all around the houses, and I had to quickly. I got home. I put out a message saying we're going to delay it by a quarter of an hour. I get home. I had to get out my suit, get my Beatley tone clothes on,
right,
get a cup of tea, and get online. It was a bit of a rush, but yeah, we're still here. Good morning. Good morning, Australia.
Yeah, or stay on any longer. It'll be good afternoon.
Boyan is my hero today.
Oh my God!
Right. Help from the Philippines. Anything for Ray Davies's birthday? Is it today? I don't know what that. I don't know if it's his birthday.
Not the biggest Kinks fan.
Yeah, I like the Kinks. I do like the Kinks, but I much prefer Ray Davies as a songwriter than as a singer.
Okay.
I don't think he's got a great voice. He's got a great voice, but he's got great delivery. He does.
I mean, and the hits are just fantastic. I love the Kinks hits.
Yeah.
Celluloid. I think Celluloid Heroes is probably my favorite.
Waterloo Sunset is a song that I've never ever got bored of.
That's a great one too.
It's such a magical song.
Yes, it is.
Song. Right. Okay. Julia says, didn't Julian vouch for May Pang seeing John once a week from 1974 to 1980 in May's documentary? I watched it a few months ago, and he vouched for May quite a lot. Yeah, maybe, but how would he know that? Because he wasn't living in the US at that time.
No.
He was actually living in Wales, I believe.
Right, and his visits, as from what we know and we've seen, have been sporadic. That's why I don't like getting too involved in personal family
No.
details. It's about the music.
Yeah, I need to watch the documentary, but
music is personal lives are personal lives, and music and what you give out as a musician and an artist that's two different things. I don't like speaking much about who saw when and who saw when and how much and all that stuff. I don't like any of that crap.
Yeah. Okay, Graham says I live close to Uxbridge, which is kind of in West London. In the town centre, saw this man shopping. I couldn't believe my eyes. It was Rod Davis. He now lives in Uxbridge. He used to teach in the local college. Who's Rod Davis? He's not the bloke out of Mud, is he?
No, Quarryman.
Oh, Quarryman. Oh, okay.
Quarryman.
Oh, Quarryman. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh. Patricia says May Pang does have a story to tell, and it's an important one. She does have a story to tell, and she keeps telling it, but each time she tells it, it's kind of a different story, and we don't know which bit is true and which bit isn't, and we will never know. We will never know that. But there we go. But I do think that she does have a part to play in the story, but I think it's a fairly small part. Station Loves, however, absurd. I just can't get into it.
No.
I'll keep trying. It's like Extra Texture. I've never been able to like that album either. Right. Cranberry Sauce says, yesterday my friend Larry and I and another friend played Don't Let Me Down on acoustic guitars in the garage. Nice. Made me appreciate this 3-chord song even more. Nice. Very nice. Ashford World says, yeah, I'm not a fan of However Absurd either. The vocal sinks it for me. It's a funny vocal, isn't it?
Yeah.
Funny vocal. Fun and strange words that don't really mean anything.
And that's the song that
doesn't matter, but
Yeah, and they think, oh, that's Paul trying to do another Lennon-esque type vocal. And I've never really felt that way about that song.
Yeah. John, the book reads, he was most definitely shot point blank up close through the chest, not from behind, from distance. He has interviewed police, paramedics, doctors, nurses, etc. Okay.
Yeah, I love this. I love this comment here. Once Upon a Long Ago, that's an underrated track. It is almost Christmassy. It could be like, well, it's got that
because it's got sleigh bells in it, hasn't it?
Yes,
it has got sleigh bells in it.
It does, and I've always felt that it could have been like a Christmas track. It really Christmas single. It has that. It does. Yeah. Good comment, Asfet. Well, I totally agree with you.
Yeah, it is a great song. Love it.
Yes.
Julia says, Return to Pepperland deserves a one-hand clapping treatment. Some great songs on Pepperland. Yep, that would be great. Ray Davis is 80 today. They had a golden run of albums, 66 to 72, that rivaled anyone from that period. Coming up to 8:30 in the Philippines. So good morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Russell, isn't it? Yeah. Right, okay.
It's more about the book. Yeah.
Okay, that was involved. Nurses involved to testify. So the fact that the wounds were directly through the chest and not from the back.
It's really deep dive stuff about the assassination. And I just can't even go there.
I know. I don't really want to know.
No.
I don't really want to know.
No, and it just to even go back to that, and I wasn't even born yet. I almost was born. I was born actually a month later.
Okay.
I just think I can't even. I mean, I think it's great if you involve doctors and nurses who want to talk about it, but I can't go there.
Yeah, no. Okay. Ashford World, he likes the first 3 tracks on Extra Texture, but then I fall asleep. Yeah, I'm not even that keen on You. It's an okay track, but it's really repetitive. It goes round and round. I like Tired of Midnight Blue, and I like This Guitar Can't Keep From Crying, which I think it's track 2, I think. But there's not much else on there that that lends itself well
Yeah.
to repeated listens. I think it's a difficult album for me.
It is.
I mean, there's not many Beatles solo albums that I don't like. Apart that, well, there's a few Ringo albums that I don't care for, but that's the only one of George's. I Gone Troppo's not a great album, but I'd listened to that, for a long time before I got to Extra Texture.
Extra Texture, yeah.
Does the intro to If I Fell sound to you like all John singing until the last three words, just holding hands, when it sounds like Paul, or is it just me? I don't know. I don't know. I can't hear it now.
I'm going through in my head with it right now.
I can't hear it. It might be a harmony. I don't know. If
it's, to me, it sounds like old John without listening to the track.
Yeah, I think it's John. It could be double tracked. I can't remember now.
Yeah,
I can't remember with that.
We almost caught up with all the comments, Tony.
We're nearly there. We're nearly there. Is anyone ready for bed yet? It's 1:30 here. What time is it in Jersey?
8:30 at night.
Okay. So you're just getting ready to go out, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Right here in my chair to put on an album or something.
Yeah.
It's 100 degrees. I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah. Okay. The additional CD tracks from Press to Play are all great. They should have been on the vinyl. What's both your favorite additional tracks?
Oh, Tough on a Tightrope.
Yeah. With there's three, isn't there? There's Right Away, and what's the other one? Oh God, I can't think.
Hold on. Got it right here.
You got it.
It's Not True, and
It's Not
Tough
True.
on a Tough on this for the first one, the first issued CD.
Yeah. I think out of those three, for me, probably It's Not True. But the unreleased tracks that weren't on the CD, I just really love the remixes that were on the 12-inch singles.
Oh.
They were great. There's quite a few. There's a remix of Talk More Talk. There's one Pretty Little Head.
The Pretty Little Head remix, 12-inch remix, is brilliant.
It is brilliant. And it's so much more accessible, I think, than the album version. That's one of the weirdest choices for a single, wasn't it?
I mean, other than the remix version has that whole kind of before it get really, but then once he starts singing, his vocal is clear. You can hear him. It's perfect.
Yeah.
It's the album version of Pretty Little Head. It feels like, I don't know. It's just too, the vocals are too drenched. It's like it's not clear.
Yeah. Okay. We're going back to May Pang. May Pang movie brings lots of receipt, guys. Everything she says in the movie is backed up in letters and photos. Just please watch it. It makes the whole John and Yoko less than my dad. Sorry, it makes the whole John and Yoko less than my dad's generation thinks. Okay. Oh, well, I am watching it.
Yeah, I gotta watch it.
I will watch it. But we've only just got it here. I can remember Joe Mayo going to see it 3 nights running or something.
Yeah.
About a year ago, more than a year ago, I think.
Yeah.
And we've only just got it. Yes, there's plenty of Japanese Red Odeon albums available here in the Philippines, right? Okay. John, I think you have to go back there. If this is the truth, he was shot from the front, then what?
Well, what's going to happen then, John? What's going to happen? There's going to be they're going to reopen investigation that's 43 years old?
Mm.
If somebody wants to take that baton and run with it, go ahead. And something becomes that was covered up or whatever, then that would be one of the biggest, scandals probably since, the Kennedy assassination. But
yeah. So what are they saying that he wasn't shot by Chapman? He was shot by someone else.
No, by Chapman. Well, I guess I didn't read the book, but it was basically that the government wanted to take him out, and this maybe John, the viewer, can chime back in. But that it was, everything that was basically covered up and not the way it happened. Was basically the long and short of it. Because the history has shown that like John was walking into the Dakota, and he called his name out, and he shot him from a distance. This is according to the testimony of the doctors and stuff. It was totally different.
Okay. John says, "Tone, do you think the Beatles have one more number one album left? It will have to be remixed deluxe edition." I don't know. Because I don't really pay that much attention to the charts or sales numbers, because sales numbers are really difficult to keep a track on, because it's not just physical media, it's numbers.
No, charts are so different now,
they're different, and I'm not sure who how many new fans are buying re-released Beatles albums in this series. Of course, old fans are buying them, of course, but I'm not sure how many new fans are buying them. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Did any of the others get to number one? I don't know.
I don't know.
We know.
I just the charts
single did.
The Now and Then single. Yeah, the single, the charts are just not what they were.
No.
Tony, I'm going to grab another drink. I'll be right back.
Okay, mate. Okay. Right, Ashford World. You has a great riff. If I have any problem with it, it's George's pinky and perky vocal. I'd take that over his Dark Horse voice, though. Oh no, I really love the Dark Horse album. I know I'm on my own with that, but I just think it's great. I think it's great. Right, several George LPs are disappointing to me. Duncan says, "I will say good night, guys. Thanks for a great show." Sir Charles, when was that? That was at 1:30. Oh, it's only 5 minutes ago. It's only 5 minutes ago. Sir Charles, thanks for coming on. Keir says, "I dig extra texture, but the production is dull." I just think it's all dull. I just don't like the songs. And it's like, it's really weird for me not to work my way into a Beatles album, a solo album, even if I don't like it at first. It's hard for me not to find a way to love a Beatles solo album, but I've just never found a way to love extra texture. I keep trying. I do keep trying, but I just, it just doesn't do anything for me. Hi, Bob. Just finished work in San Francisco and tuning into your live stream. No idea what you guys are talking about. I'm completely burnt out. Just wanted to say hi, mate. I need to retire.
Okay.
Okay. Well, thanks for coming on, Bob. I think we're almost finished.
Yeah.
When you ask about what we've been talking about, we've just been talking nonsense for over 3 hours, almost 3.5 hours, actually.
Well,
almost 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
We've been talking nonsense. Well, we've been talking Beatles, obviously.
Beatles
and Paul and John and all the rest of it. All the usual stuff. Right. Okay. So you go and get yourself a beer, Bob, and put your feet up. You've been working
put on a Beatles record.
And I expect it's been hot in San Francisco as well. What's the weather like in California at the moment? Right. So if Paul drops a new album this year, you think we'll still get a new Beatles deluxe box this year?
Yeah, I do.
I do as well. Yeah. I mean, as we said earlier, if we don't, it'll be the first year, I think, probably apart from the COVID year, 2020. I think we've had one every year since 2017, haven't we?
17, 18, 19, nothing in 20, 21. Yeah, we have.
Yeah.
We have.
So they've got it must be fitting in there somewhere. We don't know where it'll fit into the schedule. We don't know what it'll be. Everyone assumes it'll be Rubber Soul, but it might not be. If it comes out around Christmas time, could be something like Beatles for Sale, because Beatles for Sale sort of came out around Christmas time.
December 64. Yeah.
So it 60th.
But Rubber Soul did too.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. But it would only be a 59th anniversary for Rubber Soul.
Correct.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Right. Where are we? Trevor says conspiracy are never solved. Leave it alone, please. I agree. Let's leave that one alone. Don't really want to talk about that. Okay. Extra Texture is still 1,000 times more listenable than electronic sound. Yes, I agree.
Okay. That spot on. Yes.
Yeah. 100%. Ashford World 33 and a third is probably my second favorite and mine.
Mine too.
Love it. After all things because he sound like he's enjoying himself in that way. Yeah, it's such a great album, and I would go for the self-titled George Harrison 1979 as number 3.
Yep.
Yeah,
totally agree with you.
I love 33 and a third, and that sort of came out just before I discovered the Beatles in 1976, and so it's one that I had quite early on. Right, Debbie says,
"Thanks, Deb.
Thank you.
She's always on our channel. Thank you, Deb.
Thank you." Right, Carl says, "I'm one of the few who love Extra Texture too. Lovely album to chill out and relax to." Okay, everyone hears things differently.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny, isn't it? It's funny. Right, but Carl didn't like one hand clapping. You see,
no,
so there's a pattern there. There is a pattern there.
Yeah,
he didn't like one hand clapping, but he likes Extra Texture. I don't like Extra Texture. I love one hand clapping.
Right, I agree.
Okay, I hope Paul changed his set list slightly. At least get rid of For You. Yeah,
please,
and come on to me. Get rid of that.
Please.
He doesn't need to do Egypt Station songs anymore now, does he? Because it's a dead duck now, as an album. He doesn't need to.
I mean, I would love if he pulled out and played Dominoes, because Dominoes is a great track.
Okay. And I Don't Know is a
I Don't Know but that's not really a concert. Oh, he did it as sound check.
He does do slow ones though, doesn't he?
Yeah, I don't know, but I mean, maybe throw I Don't Know instead of My Valentine. Win.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's another one that can go.
Gotta go. Go.
Okay, I would rather hear the McCartney 3 material instead of.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I agree. I think it'd be great if he did Deep Feeling. That would be.
Oh.
I know he couldn't do like the 8-minute version, but
why not?
Well, because if he did an 8-minute version, that's like 2 songs that'd have to go off the set. But if he trimmed it down to about 4 minutes, could be really interesting. But yeah, it would be great. But he hasn't been keen, because he did start. Did he start playing Women and Wives on the first leg of the Got Back tour?
Yes,
and he dropped it after a couple of shows.
Yes, he did. Do you think that in the UK for these shows he's going to put Wonderful Christmas Time into the set?
He might do, because he's done it. Well, he's done it before, and he's also done Mull of Kintyre as well when he's played in December as well.
It's 2 songs I've never heard live. Well, 1 song I've never heard live before with Mull of Kintyre. So.
Yeah, I've heard. He did both those songs on the '79 tour, and I've seen him do Wonderful Christmas Time and Mull of Kintyre at the O2. I can't remember which tour it was. It might have been Freshen Up or one of those. But he played the O2 in December, and he played them. Right, okay. But Beatley Tone still has to listen to electronic music in its entirety. No. Just because I bought it, it doesn't mean I have to listen to it.
Hell no.
I couldn't. I tried. I gave it my best shot. 8 minutes. That was my best shot. 7
more than I tried.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Carl says, I did like one hand clapping. I just thought people went a bit overboard on it. It wasn't as great as people saying it was. Well, that's fair enough. It's your opinion. There's no right or wrong answers. I thought it was great. I loved it. I loved it, especially the band performances. I like the band performances a lot more than Paul's solo performances.
Yes, agreed.
But you know, they just sounded really tight as a band. Even though that, you know, there was mistakes in there, they weren't that tight as a band. They were just so, you know, such good musicians that they sounded good, even though they probably had, you know, you wonder how many times, you know, because of the two new members, you know, Jimmy McCartney and Jeff Britton, they would have had to learn all of those songs apart from Junior's Farm, which is the only one that they actually played on the record. They would have had to go away and learn, you know, all the, you know, Jet and Band on the Run and, you know, Let Me Roll It and Live and Let Die and Spoily and all those. They would have had to learn all those songs. And you got to wonder how, you know, how many times they played them through before those you know, recorded versions
were done.
Yeah.
But
probably not that many. But anyway, yeah, okay. Right, the actual electric sound is an endurance test, but not as much as Two. No, I reckon I could do. I reckon I could do more than 8 minutes of Two Virgins. I reckon.
I think I listened to that like once or twice.
Yeah, me too. But I think it's slightly more interesting than electronic sound. Beck says, "Give me Slide."
Sure.
Come on to me, yes. Yeah,
yeah, I agree with that.
Station Minute says, "I thought Woman and Wives was a good addition to the show, but they're better songs on McCartney 3." Yeah, I agree.
Yes.
I agree.
Seize the Day, man. Get that song into the set.
Seize the Day, yeah.
Find My Way.
Yeah. You know, I mean, there's a lot of songs on that, you know, compared with a lot of like proper songs on McCartney 3 compared with, you know, the kind of, you know, scrapbook songs that are on McCartney 1 and McCartney 2, you know, maybe, you know, experiment. I mean, some of them are experimental, but there's a lot of, you know, proper songs on McCartney 3. So there's quite a lot to choose from. Trevor says, "Together and solo, Beatles forever. Hurrah! Hurrah for the Beatles." Carl says, "Paul did Mulligan in Liverpool one December with loads of Scottish pipers. Can't remember the year off the top of my head, but it was amazing." Yeah, he did it with the pipers in London as well. Both times.
See, I've never heard him do Mull of Kintyre live.
Yeah.
And if he ever did that, you might have to call the ambulance medic and take me out on a gurney.
I reckon there's a good chance that both of those could be in the set.
Oh God, I hope so.
I mean, he's got form. He's got form for playing those in December.
In the UK.
Yeah, in the UK. Yeah. Yeah, because no other, you know, Mull of Kintyre is not a big hit anywhere else, is it?
No. But we'd still take it as Americans. I know. Yeah. How many millions of Americans would love to hear Mull of Kintyre?
Yeah. Well, we should have said Girls' School for Dino's 3 songs that he's never played live.
I was thinking about that.
Yeah. Jason's still here. I saw Paul play Mull live bagpipes on the '93 Australian tour. It was loud and awesome. And was that around Christmas time that he played in Australia in 1993?
Off the top of my head, I don't know.
I can't remember. Well, I saw the tour that I saw him in Paris on that tour, and that was, I think, October time. So yeah, it could have been off around Europe and then off to Oz. John says, "Tone solo Babyface was a good one on one hand clapping." Yeah, I like it, and he obviously likes it because he played that at the Amoeba gig, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Yeah. Beck says, "Are you both seeing Paul in the UK?" Yes, we are.
Yes, we are.
Andy's going to Manchester, and I'm seeing him in London, and we're hoping we can meet in between or before one of those.
We'll work it out, as the man says.
We will work it out. Okay. I think we've reached the last comment.
You got to it. You got to the last comment.
Right.
Oh.
Ashford Wells says, thoughts on small faces that work on immediate label is up there, I think. Yeah,
Itchy Coo Park, baby.
Yeah, I like the small faces.
Itchy Coo Park.
And yeah, they're great. Ogden's Nut Gone Flake, good album. I've got a couple of their albums on CD. But yeah, I prefer the Kinks to the small faces.
Yeah.
But I do like some of their stuff. Definitely.
I'll see now 4 or 5 more comments have popped in here.
I know. As soon as you start saying you're going to go, people are like, oh. Right. Okay. Jason, 1993 Australian tour was in March. Mole was a massive number 1 here. Okay. Didn't know that. Good to know. Carl says, oh, there's a great chance of Mulligan time and Wonderful Christmas Time in December. Hope he does them both for you, Andy. Yeah.
Please.
Matt, well, Tony, yes, I'm still here. I've got staying power. We've done 3.5 hours. 3.5 hours. I think it's the longest one ever.
This is longer than 250.
Yeah. It's definitely the longest one I've done.
Is it?
We still got 43 people here. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're not subscribed. Give it a like. It's been a long one. Going for the record. You should be glad. It's beating the record for me anyway. You should be glad I wasn't here the whole time. More power to you, mate. We'll catch the whole show on the flip flop. Okay, that's great. Ted, Man on the Run gives a good idea of how much Jeff Britton was disliked. Mr. Karate. Are you talking about?
Is he talking about the? He's talking about the book. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got.
He's talking about the book. Yeah.
Okay. Right.
Tone, more staying power than Paul McCartney. There. He's right.
Yeah.
He's right, man. You are.
I am gonna have to call it a night in a minute though, because it is late and I really need a wee.
Yeah, you haven't got up. I got 2 drinks. I went to the bathroom and came back.
I know. I'm a working class hero. Just follow me.
That's it, baby.
Yeah. It's been a great show. Thank you both. Thank you, everyone, for being on. Kier, time for bed, said Zebedee. That's a magic roundabout joke for those of you that are not in the UK. Kier says, thoroughly enjoyable. Good night tonight. Thank you, everyone who's been on and stayed on the whole time, or if you've popped on and popped off again. Thank you very much. I've had a blast. What's coming up on Two Legs, Andy?
Episode 251 just dropped. We did it last night. It was live. It was littered with snafus, technical issues, and everything else. But that was up, and that was our full review, track by track, of One Hand Clapping, which we hadn't done yet, and we did. And that is up, and we're working on one more show for the end of the month, and then we'll stay tuned. So just make sure you like and subscribe to Two Legs, the Paul McCartney podcast. We just hit 2,000 subs a few weeks ago, so check us out. And thank you, Tone, for inviting me on.
My absolute pleasure, Andy. I've been on your show enough times, so it's time to reciprocate. So anyway,
what's going on with you?
What's going on with me? Well, I'm going to be listening like crazy to the Mind Games box this weekend and trying to piece together, some sort of review of it. But yeah, I'm very excited about hearing it all. So I'm going to be playing that quite a bit.
The video that you make, you're going to do a comparison of the original album and this will be interesting. Can't wait to see that one.
Yeah, well, yeah. It probably won't be focused on the comparison, but you kind of have to listen to the old to appreciate the new. So
sure.
So you can say, oh well, on the new version, you can hear the bass do this, which you can't hear on the on the old version. That sort of stuff. So thanks everyone for tuning in. We had a great crowd, great chat. I've had a blast, and it's been great. It's been great. So we'll do this again fairly soon. So thanks, everyone. Good night.
Good night.
Cheers.